Chapter 36-38. N. Tan Wu nodded. This little girl is really not honest. She actually didn't tell us. The white-eyed wolf was annoyed. I told her not to tell you. Firstly, I didn't want you to be distracted by us. Secondly, I didn't want to drag you down. After entering the Nether King's hell, we also knew our limits and didn't participate in your battle with the ancestral dragons. However, after you entered the forest of gods and devils, we met Li Feng and the Blood Ancestor. We heard from the Blood Ancestor that there was a fourth floor and they were also preparing to enter the fourth floor. I discussed with the Cerberus. Perhaps we could find a way to deal with the dragons on the fourth floor. So, we entered Li Feng's spatial divine item and followed them to the Sky Cloud Realm. When we came to the Sky Cloud Realm, we realized how insignificant we were. Any one of us could easily destroy the dragons. Tan Wu shook his head and laughed. The white-eyed wolf was surprised. You came to the Sky Cloud Realm to deal with the dragons of the ancient realm? Yes. Because we learned from Yi's master that the dragons have a sovereign divine weapon. At that time, Qin Feiyang's castle was sealed, so we thought of going to the fourth floor to find a way to deal with the dragons. But before we could go back, you had already come to the Sky Cloud Realm. Tan Wu smiled bitterly. How much do you know about Li Feng and the Blood Ancestor? Qin Feiyang asked. I don't know. After entering the Sky Cloud Realm, we parted ways. Later, we also entered the Death Glacier to train and met the Divine Beast Uncle by chance, so we came to the Qilin Holy Land together. After Tan Wu finished speaking, he asked, by the way, did you meet Li Feng and the others? Yes. Before coming to the Death Glacier, we met them. Qin Feiyang nodded. How are they doing now? Tan Wu asked. Qin Feiyang briefly explained what Li Feng had done in the northern continent over the years. Sigh. Tan Wu sighed and shook his head. I should have stayed with them back then. Maybe I could have stopped these killings. Even if you follow them, they will still do the same. Qin Feiyang shook his head. Then, he looked at Tan Wu and the Cerberus and said, speaking of which, you guys don't know Li Feng, right? I didn't know him at first. When we met them in the Underworld King's Hell, they wanted to kill us. Later on, when we accidentally mentioned you, we found out that it was all related to you. It can be considered a kind of fate. Tan Wu smiled. Qin Feiyang shook his head and sighed. Even if it was fate, it was an ill-fated fate. The white-eyed wolf said, now that we've found almost all of our old friends, we're only missing that gray castle. Where is it now? What are you planning? Back then, when they entered the Sky Cloud Realm, the Fire Python had said that the young man, the Snow Python, Li Feng, the Blood Ancestor, and the Grey Castle had all entered the Sky Cloud Realm. Now, he had already found the young man, the Snow Python, Li Feng, the Blood Ancestor, and even Tan Wu and the Hell God Hound. He was only missing this Grey Castle. There's no rush. When it's time to show up, it will naturally show up. Qin Feiyang waved his hand. Blood Blade, Snow, the Grey Castle, and the fire bead that was sealed in the Soul-Sealing Valley were all existences of the same era. They all had a common enemy, the Ice Dragon and the Small Beast. Even if they were planning something, it would definitely be against the Ice Dragon and the Small Beast. Therefore, he didn't have to worry about it at all. Okay. No matter what, it's good to be alive. The white-eyed wolf laughed. Tan Wu and the others also had a smile on their faces. What's next? Do you want to come with us? The white-eyed wolf looked at Tan Wu and the others and asked. I'm afraid that's not possible. The fire Qilin shook its head. Why? You don't want to give up your identity as the Qilin Saint? The white-eyed wolf joked. That's not it. After all, the Qilin Master is my master. Besides, if I stay in the Qilin Holy Land, it will definitely help you. The fire Qilin smiled. Alright, I won't force you. The white-eyed wolf nodded and looked at Tan Wu, Uncle Divine Beast, and the hellhound, asking, "What about you guys?" Tan Wu smiled and said, "We also plan to stay in the Qilin Holy Land. After all, the Qilin Master has taken care of us all these years. Moreover, if we stay here, we can take care of each other." The Uncle Divine Beast and the hellhound also nodded. Qin Feiyang frowned and said, "However, the battle between the Qilin clan and us will erupt sooner or later. I'm worried that at that time, they will harm you. Moreover, now that Qi Xiong and the 9 patriarchs hate us to the core, they will definitely find an opportunity to take revenge on you. With the relationship with the Qilin Master, they don't have the guts. Besides, we're not stupid. If we see that the situation is not good, don't we know to run?" Tan Wu chuckled. This, Qin Feiyang pondered for a while and nodded with a smile. "All right, when there's danger, let me know. Even if I'm at the end of the world, I will rush over as soon as I receive the notice." "Okay." Tan Wu nodded. After everyone took out the divine sound transmission stone and established a contract bridge, Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf took them to enjoy the scenery of the Black Tortoise world. For the next 3 days. It could be said that these 3 days were the most relaxing 3 days for Qin Feiyang since he came to the Sky Cloud realm. Qin Feiyang admired Qi Shaoyun more and more. He was completely like an otherworldly expert. It was very relaxing to get along with him. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. "Qi Xiong, it's time to fulfill your promise." The white-eyed wolf's arrogant voice sounded in the sky above the Fire Qilin clan. Shua. Qi Ji, the white-bearded old man, and many Fire Qilin clansmen appeared one after another. However, Qi Xiong and his son were still nowhere to be seen. What happened? They really ran away? The white-eyed wolf, who was standing in the sky, couldn't help but frown. Qi Xiong. Qi Ji couldn't help but frown as he looked at a courtyard below and shouted. But there was still no response. Qi Ji released his divine sense and shrouded in all directions. His face suddenly sank slightly as he couldn't find any trace of Qi Xiong and his son. The white-eyed wolf looked at Qi Ji and raised his eyebrows. "Lord Patriarch, what do you say now?" Qi Ji clenched his hands and turned to look at Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf. He said in a deep voice, "I keep my promise. Now, I will kneel down in his place and kowtow to you." After saying that, he knelt down in the air. Qin Feiyang took a step forward and stopped Qi Ji. Qi Ji raised his head and looked at Qin Feiyang suspiciously. "Every injustice has its perpetrator and every debt has its debtor. This is a grudge between us and Qi Xiong. It has nothing to do with Senior." Qin Feiyang smiled slightly. But Qi Ji seemed to feel that he was in the wrong and his face was full of apology. "It's okay. There's still a long way to go. Can you hide for a lifetime?" Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. Sigh. Qi Ji sighed deeply. It seemed that this grudge could no longer be resolved. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, "Thank you, Senior, for taking care of me during this period of time. We will meet again someday." Qi Ji waved his hand and activated a space-time teleportation divine tool. He apologized again, "I'm really sorry." Qin Feiyang smiled and was about to step into the space-time teleportation divine tool. "Young Master Qin, wait a moment." At this time, Xiaoying flew up from below with a palm-sized jade box in his hand. He walked in front of Qin Feiyang and said, "This is a gift from the young master." Qin Feiyang suspiciously received the jade box. When he opened the lid, he was stunned. It was actually a box full of ancient dragon god tea. This was a big gift. When he came back to his senses, Qin Feiyang looked down at the courtyard and saw Qi Shaoyun standing in front of the tea garden, looking up at them with a smile on his face. "Brother Qi, thank you. Let's meet again in the future." Qin Feiyang put away the jade box and cupped his hands in thanks. He then turned and entered the space-time divine tool without looking back. The white-eyed wolf, Princess Wufeng, and the other three also followed. After watching the group leave, the white-bearded old man looked at Qi Ji and asked, Patriarch, what do you think of them? They will definitely become great in the future. Qi Ji nodded. The white-bearded old man smiled and said, I'm afraid what you care about the most is the blood-red wolf summoned by the golden-winged wolf king, right? Don't you care? Qi Ji asked. What will come will eventually come. Just like what humans often say, if it's a blessing, it's not a curse. If it's a curse, it can't be avoided. The white-bearded old man smiled hoarsely. Father, Master. Qi Shaoyun was silent for a while. He then flew up and looked at Qi Ji and the white-bearded old man. What's wrong? The two were suspicious. Qi Shaoyun bowed and said, Please allow me to go to the lightning punishment heavenly stairs. What? Qi Ji, Little Ing, and the nearby Fire Qilin clansmen all changed their expressions. The Fire Qilin, Tan Wu, the Hellhound, and the uncle were all ready to leave. But when they heard this, they couldn't help but look at Qi Shaoyun in shock. It seemed that he had understood Qin Feiyang's words. As for the white-bearded old man, there was a trace of relief in his eyes. Little Ing came back to her senses and said angrily, Young master, are you crazy? Is the lightning punishment heavenly stairs a place you can go? Besides, who are you? Who are Qin Feiyang and the golden-winged wolf king? Is there a need for you to compete with them? Little Ing, this is not a competition. Qi Shaoyun shook his head. If it's not a competition, what is it? Little Ing frowned. There are some things that you won't understand even if I tell you. In fact, even I don't understand it now, but I think I should give it a try. Qi Shaoyun smiled. I won't allow it. Qi Ji finally spoke. What kind of joke was this? Wasn't he courting death by going to the lightning punishment heavenly stairs? Qi Shaoyun said helplessly, Father, didn't you always say that I have no ambition? Now that I want to improve, why are you stopping me? Qi Ji said angrily, You're obviously courting death. What does that have to do with improvement? Even if I really die, I want to give it a try. Qi Shaoyun smiled faintly and turned to look at the white-bearded old man, asking, Master, what do you think? Qi Ji looked at the white-bearded old man and said, Old Bai, you must not agree. The white-bearded old man smiled hoarsely at Qi Ji, then looked at Qi Shaoyun and said, Do what you want to do. Don't let yourself have any regrets. Old Bai. Qi Ji glared at the white-bearded old man. He's no longer a child. The white-bearded old man smiled. But, Qi Ji still wanted to say something, but Qi Shaoyun bowed to the white-bearded old man and said gratefully, Thank you, Master. After saying that, he rushed toward the lightning punishment heavenly stairs without looking back. This silly child. Why won't he listen to me? And you, Old Bai. You let him do whatever he wants. Sooner or later, you'll get him killed. I think you're trying to anger me to death. Qi Ji cursed and chased after Qi Shaoyun. Little Ing also anxiously chased after Qi Shaoyun. The white-bearded old man shook his head and smiled. He turned to the Fire Qilin, Tan Wu, and the others, cupped his fists, and said, If you have time, help me thank Qin Feiyang. If it wasn't for Qin Feiyang's reminder, who knew when Qi Shaoyun would have understood the true meaning of the lightning punishment heavenly stairs. Chapter 36-39. Northern Continent. In the northwest, at the entrance of the Death Glacier. Shua. A group of people appeared out of thin air. It was Qin Feiyang, White-Eyed Wolf, and Princess Wufeng. It's Qin Feiyang. Didn't they go to the central region of the Death Glacier some time ago? When did they come out? I've been recuperating here these past few days, but I didn't see them come out. Outside the entrance, many people were recuperating. Seeing Qin Feiyang and the others appear, their faces were filled with surprise. Because they didn't know about the existence of the Qilin Holy Land, nor did they know that the Qilin clan could ignore the rules of the Death Glacier. Therefore, they would never have thought that Qin Feiyang and the others would be teleported out from the core region. They thought that Qin Feiyang and the others had already come out and were now planning to enter the Death Glacier. Daifuku raised his head and looked at the Death Glacier, sighing, "These past few days are like a dream." And everyone nodded. Who would have thought that Qin Feiyang and White-Eyed Wolf would be able to pass the test of the Thunder Punishment Heavenly Stairway? Who would have thought that White-Eyed Wolf would be able to plunder Qi Yefeng's Law of Life and step into the ranks of Paragon Dominators? Of course. For Qin Feiyang and White-Eyed Wolf, this trip to the Qilin Holy Land was definitely worth it. First, they found the Fire Qilin and unlocked the ancient castle's seal, causing earth-shattering changes to the Black Tortoise world. Then, White-Eyed Wolf obtained the Law of Life and his strength advanced by leaps and bounds. And then, one man and one wolf passed through the Thunder Punishment Heavenly Stairway and obtained 2 super forbidden techniques bestowed by the Qilin Lord. Finally, Qin Feiyang and White-Eyed Wolf obtained the Law Miniature and opened the door to the ultimate profound meaning. As expected, only with effort would there be gains. All right. It's time for us to go back. Princess Wufeng looked at Pyrotechnic Glow and Daifuku and said with a smile. Go back? Pyrotechnic Glow was slightly stunned and hurriedly said, Sis, why are we going back? Nonsense. Of course I'm going back to cultivate in seclusion. Princess Wufeng glared at him and said angrily, What else do you want? Haven't you had enough fun these days? I don't want to go back. Pyrotechnic Glow mumbled. He wasn't willing to part with Qin Feiyang and the White-Eyed Wolf. He was unwilling to part with the Peerless Divine Brew and Black Tortoise Divine Brew. Don't tell me you're still relying on them. They have to agree first. Princess Wufeng glared at her younger brother, then looked at Qin Feiyang and the White-Eyed Wolf. She hesitated for a moment, then looked at the White-Eyed Wolf and asked, Don't you have anything to say to me? Qin Feiyang looked at Princess Wufeng in surprise. Why was he specifically asking about the White-Eyed Wolf? There was a situation. But the White-Eyed Wolf seemed to have a screw loose. He picked his nose and said, See you never. Princess Wufeng's face darkened. She turned to Daifuku, who was also in a daze, and shouted, Let's go. Okay. Daifuku came back to his senses, nodded repeatedly, and opened a space-time transmission channel. White-Eyed Wolf, are you stupid? What a good opportunity. Can't you be more careful? Qin Feiyang glared at the White-Eyed Wolf and thought. What kind of opportunity is this? The White-Eyed Wolf pursed his lips. Okay. Qin Feiyang was helpless. She even called him a blockhead all day long. Who was the blockhead here? Princess Wufeng had already said it so bluntly, but this damn wolf cub was still sleepwalking. Princess Wufeng waved her hand, and the Fire Phoenix sword and the Fire Phoenix Divine Jade appeared. She said, Follow him and come back after 1,000 years. The 2 sovereigns' divine weapons shook as a response to her. Boom! However, just as the 4 of them were about to leave, a terrifying aura suddenly erupted in the sky. Then, the power of a law surged down like a tide. Be careful. Qin Feiyang looked up and suddenly shouted. Clang! The Fire Phoenix sword and the Fire Phoenix Divine Jade were immediately awakened. Divine power surged and protected the group of people. The next moment, the power of the law roared, and the space-time transmission channel opened by Daifuku shattered. This is the law of death. Qin Feiyang glanced at the surging power of the law in front of him, and his eyes suddenly darkened. This was because the law contained a terrifying power of death that enveloped all directions. The mountains and rivers at the entrance below collapsed crazily under the power of death. The people and beasts that were cultivating here all died in an instant. Looking at the intensity, it has reached the level of the ultimacy. Daifuku's face suddenly darkened as he looked at the devastated land below. He looked up at the sky. Whoosh! 2 figures appeared. It's you. Looking at the two people who appeared, Qin Feiyang and the others were furious. That's right. The two of them were Qi Xiong and Qi Yu, who ran away from the Qilan's sacred ground. But they didn't expect to be ambushed here. I was worried about where to find you, but you actually came to me. Now, I'll send you to hell. The white-eyed wolf smiled coldly. The four ultimacies of the law of death, the law of destruction, the law of spacetime, and the law of cause and effect were activated at the same time. With the power of destruction, they charged toward the father and son. They could have escaped if they had obediently holed up. How dare they come out and cause trouble? Weren't they courting death? However, in the face of the white-eyed wolf's four ultimacies, the father and son didn't panic at all. On the contrary, they looked at Qin Feiyang and the others with eyes full of ridicule. Qin Feiyang noticed this scene and frowned slightly. Suddenly, his face changed drastically. Looking at the white-eyed wolf and Princess Wufeng, he shouted, "Leave now, quickly." Leave? The white-eyed wolf and Princess Wufeng were a little stunned. Weren't they just two defeated opponents? Why was Qin Feiyang so scared? Quickly! Qin Feiyang shouted. With the strength of the father and son, they definitely wouldn't dare to be so arrogant. So, there must be others. Qin Feiyang is indeed Qin Feiyang. He noticed that something was wrong so quickly. Suddenly, accompanied by a cold smile, 5 figures appeared behind Qin Feiyang and the others. Bing running. Princess Wufeng's face changed. That's right. It was Bing running. The white-haired old woman, the white-haired old man, and the middle-aged man were also there. The 5th was a middle-aged man in a white robe. He was 7 feet tall and his face was full of vicissitudes. His whole body emitted a bone-piercing cold current. Seeing this middle-aged man, Princess Wufeng's face turned pale instantly. Pyrotechnic Glow and Daifuku were the same. Their eyes seemed to be trembling. The middle-aged man glanced at Princess Wufeng and the others, then looked directly at Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf. His eyes were as cold as ice. Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf just looked at the middle-aged man and couldn't help but feel a chill in their hearts. Uncle. What do you mean by this? Princess Wufeng came back to her senses and said angrily. Uncle? Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf were shocked. Pyrotechnic Glow said, "This is not good. He is Bing Running's father, the patriarch of the Ice Phoenix clan, Bing Changtian." What? The man and the wolf's pupils contracted. Even the patriarch of the Ice Phoenix clan came in person. It seemed that this was not a good time. Bing Changtian's eyes turned and fell on Princess Wufeng and the others. He said, "I should be the one asking you this. What do you mean by this? Why are you following Qin Feiyang and the Golden-Winged Wolf King? This is our private business." Princess Wufeng said. Bing Changtian said indifferently, "As long as you are a member of the Feng people, nothing you do is private." Then what do you mean? Are you going to kill us? Daifuku and Xiaofu carefully protected Princess Wufeng and Pyrotechnic Glow. 2 followers, how dare you interrupt? Bing Changtian's eyes were cold. Daifuku said angrily, "We are followers, but don't forget that we have a 1,000-year agreement with Qin Feiyang. This is the agreement between the patriarch of the Fire Phoenix clan and Qin Feiyang. What does it have to do with the Ice Phoenix clan? It's funny that the patriarch of the Fire Phoenix clan made a 1,000-year agreement with a human being. Aren't you afraid of becoming a laughing stock?" Bing Running sneered. Bing Running, don't be presumptuous. Pyrotechnic Glow shouted angrily. I am presumptuous, so what? Come and kill me if you can. Bing Running's face was full of provocation. Pyrotechnic Glow clenched his hands and said angrily, "What is wrong with Aunt May and Aunt Lon? Didn't I ask them to go back and keep an eye on Bing Running? Why didn't I tell them in advance? Bing Running is nothing, but who is Bing Changtian? If he is determined to kill us, Aunt May and Aunt Lon won't be able to stop him." I'm afraid they don't even know that Bing Changtian has left the phoenix nest. Princess Huafeng said telepathically. What should we do now? Pyrotechnic Glow was a bit nervous. What else can we do? We have to force our way out. Princess Huafeng's eyes were filled with killing intent. She said to herself, Qin Feiyang, Golden-Winged Wolf King, do it. With your current strength, Daifuku and Xiaofu, you should be able to break out. Break out? No. I am going to kill them. None of them will leave here alive. A monstrous killing intent erupted from the white-eyed wolf's body. Are you kidding me? Qi Xiong doesn't have a Dominator Divine Weapon, but Bing Changtian has 5 Dominator Divine Weapons. Princess Huafeng shouted angrily. 5? So what? We are not any less than them. White-eyed wolf grinned and stared at Bing Changtian. You are the leader of the Ice Phoenix clan, right? Let me see how strong you are. How dare you be so arrogant in front of us? You are indeed arrogant. Bing Changtian, Qi Xiong, it seems like you can't take them down if we don't show up. Before White-Eyed Wolf could finish his words, another cold voice sounded. Swish. The next moment. In front, left, and right of Qin Feiyang's group, another 9 figures appeared. There are more people? Princess Huafeng, Pyrotechnic Glow, and Daifuku turned pale. Qin Feiyang and White-Eyed Wolf glanced at the 9 people. They were all unfamiliar faces. There were men and women, old and young. Their auras were no weaker than Qi Xiong and Bing Changtian. Who are they? White-Eyed Wolf asked. Daifuku said, they are your sworn enemies, the 9 leaders of the dragons. The 9 leaders. Qin Feiyang and White-Eyed Wolf looked at each other. They were also shocked. They didn't expect that Qi Xiong would ally with Bing Changtian to deal with them. He even called the 9 leaders of the dragons. Chapter 3640. The 9 clan leaders of the dragons are like Bing Changtian. But that's not all. The most terrifying thing is that they all have sovereign divine weapons. This time, I'm afraid we're going to die here. Daifuku's face was extremely gloomy. Call for reinforcements? The other party came prepared. How could they give them the chance? Aren't there 10 major clans of dragons? Why are there only 9 clan leaders? The White-Eyed Wolf was puzzled. Daifuku was slightly taken aback. He glanced at the 9 people and said, I don't see the clan leader of the Silver Dragon clan. What's going on? The clan leader of the Silver Dragon clan, Qin Feiyang and the White-Eyed Wolf looked at each other. The clan leader of the Silver Dragon clan should be the father of the little dragon's princess. Could it be related to the little princess? Despair and tremble. Bing Running laughed. Clang. The Ice Phoenix Sword, the Black Ice Divine Hammer, and the Black Ice Divine Bow appeared. There were also 2 sovereign divine weapons that they had never seen before. The 5 sovereign divine weapons exuded an aura that could destroy the world. How dare you steal my son's eye of heaven? You'll pay the price today. The clan leader of the Golden Dragon clan said as a golden spear appeared. It was the sovereign divine weapon that had saved the fire dragon in the Een Demon Land, the Golden Dragon Spear. Qin Feiyang heard and turned to look at the clan leader of the Golden Dragons. He was about 40 years old and wore a golden 5-clawed dragon robe. His eyes were like 2 golden suns, exuding a shocking murderous aura. The Eye of Heaven is the bet between your son and me. Since I won, the Eye of Heaven naturally belongs to me. Why are you looking for me now? Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows. You're just a lowly human. Do you think you deserve the Eye of Heaven? The clan leader of the Golden Dragon sneered. If I don't, do you? If you have the ability, fight me one-on-one. Let's see what you're capable of. Qin Feiyang sneered. One-on-one? I really don't know why you still have such childish thoughts. When dealing with an enemy, as long as there is a chance, naturally, we will do whatever it takes. The golden dragons chuckled coldly as their golden dragon spear reappeared, and they hurtled directly toward Qin Feiyang. Clang! The castle, the horsetail whisk, and the Grim Reaper's sword appeared at the same time. Divine might surged forth and crashed toward the golden dragon spear. Looks like we can only fight to the death. Pyrotechnic glow roared. The fiery phoenix saber and the divine phoenix spear also came out of his body with overflowing divine power. The flaming phoenix sword and the flaming phoenix divine jade also awakened immediately. Not bad, not bad. You only brought 4 out of the 5 sovereign divine weapons of the Inferno Phoenix clan. However, in terms of the number of sovereigns we have the upper hand. The other 8 clan leaders of the dragons also activated their sovereign divine weapons. White dragon sword, black dragon mirror, blood dragon blade, etc. Seeing this scene, Qin Feiyang and the others' faces darkened. On their side, they had a total of 7 sovereign divine weapons. Even after activating the slaughter domain, they only had 8. But the other party. The Ice Phoenix clan had 5 sovereign divine weapons, and with the dragon's 9 sovereign divine weapons, they had a total of 14. It was a 1-on-2 situation, and they had no chance of winning at all. Qin Feiyang, do you need me to help you now? A voice sounded in Qin Feiyang's mind. Qin Feiyang immediately glanced at the blood dragon blade. That's right. He still had the blood dragon blade. However, even with the blood dragon blade, the other party had a total of 13 sovereign divine weapons. It was far from enough. What's going on? Why are there so many sovereign divine weapons? The aura of 21 sovereign divine weapons shocked everyone. Even the central region of the Death Glacier could feel this terrifying aura. As for the northern continent, the aura covered half of the continent. Countless people and ferocious beasts cast their gazes in this direction, full of surprise. Boom! Moreover, under the impact of the 21 sovereign divine weapons, the void and earth were collapsing crazily. It was like a scene of doomsday. The nearby beasts and humans were frantically running for their lives. What's going on? Heavenly Palace. The 4 leaders also rushed into the sky and looked in the direction of the Death Glacier. It seems like there's the aura of Qin Feiyang's sovereign divine weapons. What is he doing? The 4 of them were also shocked. The aura of 21 sovereign divine weapons. If they really fought, it would be a nightmare for the northern continent. At the same time, Qin Feiyang looked at the void and earth that were crazily shattering and said in a deep voice, "What you're doing will destroy the northern continent. You'll make this land a living hell and blood will flow like a river." A group of lowly ants. Their deaths are not worth regretting. Qi Xiong said contemptuously. Bastard. You want to fight, right? Let's go to the Star River. The white-eyed wolf roared. Billions of living beings were actually just ants. No need. Let's end your worthless lives here. It won't take long, so not too many of you will die. The golden dragon smiled coldly. There was a ruthless coldness in his voice. Everyone, the situation might change if we delay. Hurry up and attack. Qi Xiong said. Clang. Boom. The 14 sovereign divine weapons immediately charged toward Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang, make a decision now. The blood dragon blade roared. It did not dare to attack Qin Feiyang because of the blood oath. If it attacked Qin Feiyang, it would be killed by the heavens. Qin Feiyang looked at the white dragon blade and the other sovereign divine weapons. He then looked at Qi Xiong and the others. A glint flashed in his eyes. Although it seemed like a dead end, it was not impossible to break out of it. The blood dragon blade was the only one who could break out of this situation. The golden dragons and the others were full of confidence. However, they did not know that the blood dragon blade had already submitted to them. The existence of the blood dragon blade would be a devastating blow to these people. Control Bing Changtian and the others immediately. Qin Feiyang shouted secretly. Although the blood dragon blade could not continue to lurk among the dragons, he could not think of a better way now. He could not really watch the northern continent bleed and be covered in corpses. Okay. The blood dragon blade responded secretly and immediately turned in the air. Blood dragon blade, what are you doing? Seeing this, the patriarch of the blood dragon clan shouted. I'm sorry, but all of you, kneel down. The blood dragon blade cackled, and a terrifying divine might directly pounced on the blood dragon patriarch and the others. Ah, who would have thought that the dragon's sovereign divine weapon would suddenly turn against them and attack them? Accompanied by screams, the 9 dragons clan leaders bore the brunt of the attack. Their physical bodies were shattered on the spot, and even their divine souls were severely injured. What's going on? Princess Huafeng and the other 3 were also dumbfounded as they watched this scene. What was going on with the blood dragon blade? How could it kill the 9 clan leaders? Bing Changtian and the other 4 were the same. Ah, before they could recover, a fatal crisis swept over. The blood dragon blade's divine power arrived and Bing Changtian and the others were also killed and their physical bodies were directly shattered. What kind of super forbidden skill was under the sovereign divine weapon? It was completely vulnerable. Then, the blood dragon blade imprisoned the divine souls of more than 10 people together. He shouted, "By Longjian, all of you stop right now. Otherwise, I will destroy their divine souls." Blood dragon blade, what are you doing? This sudden scene even caught Bai Longjian and the other sovereign divine weapons off guard and they roared in anger. Humph. The blood dragon blade snorted and firmly imprisoned the divine souls of Bing Changtian and the others. If Bai Longjian and the other sovereign divine weapons dared to attack, their divine souls would immediately be shattered. Why are you doing this? The blood dragon clan leader roared. This was his sovereign divine weapon, so it was the most difficult for him to accept. Everyone, except for Qin Feiyang, the white-eyed wolf, the castle, the horsetail whisk, and the sword of Thanatos, no one knew what was going on. They were all puzzled. Did it find its conscience? Is it going to give up the darkness and help us? Pyrotechnic Glow murmured. The white-eyed wolf heard Pyrotechnic Glow's murmur and couldn't help but roll his eyes. Let me tell you. Qin Feiyang took a step forward and looked at Bing Changtian and the others with ridicule in his eyes. Swish. In an instant, everyone's eyes, including the sovereign divine weapons, were fixed on Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang looked at Qi Xiong and said with a smile, "I admire you. You managed to persuade Bing Changtian and the 9 clan leaders of the dragons to join forces and set up a killing trap here. You deserve to die." Qi Xiong said gloomily. "You're stubborn. If you didn't do this and take the initiative to fulfill your promise and kneel down and kowtow to us, we wouldn't have troubled you in the future. Unfortunately, you chose a path of no return. You're a good schemer. Bing Running and the princes and princesses of the dragons have suffered great losses in my hands. If I asked them for help, they would have agreed without hesitation. That's true. If it weren't for the blood dragon blade, we would have been dead this time. No one would have been able to save us. What a pity. What you didn't expect was that the blood dragon blade had already submitted to me. Now, it's a sharp blade that I've placed in the dragons. You can imagine how terrifying it would be for someone else to place a sovereign divine weapon by their side. It's fine if it doesn't move, but once it moves, it will definitely destroy the world." Qin Feiyang said in a sonorous and forceful manner. His tone carried an austere aura. What? The blood dragon blade submitted to Qin Feiyang? The group of people turned pale with fright. Even the current allies, Princess Huafeng and the other 3, couldn't help but feel their scalps go numb when they heard this. What kind of method was this? If it were them, they would also have a sovereign divine weapon planted by Qin Feiyang. This situation. Just thinking about it made their hair stand on end. Because this wasn't an ordinary spy, but a sovereign divine weapon that could destroy everything. The blood dragon stared at the blood dragon blade and roared, "Is this true?" "Of course. Otherwise, why would you fall into my hands now?" The blood dragon blade replied. "Why? Why? What benefits did he give you?" The blood dragons roared. "Nothing at all." The blood dragon blade seemed to be rather annoyed when it said this. To think that it, a sovereign divine weapon, was actually controlled by a human. If this news spread, it would definitely make people laugh their heads off. "You didn't even give him any benefits, and you submitted to him?" The blood dragons became even angrier. "Can't I find him more pleasing to the eye?" The blood dragon blade said angrily. In any case, it couldn't say that it was controlled. It couldn't afford to lose face. Bastard. The blood dragons were furious. The golden dragons and the others were naturally the same. Such a thing happened to them, the dragons, was simply a great humiliation. Chapter 36-41. Weren't you all quite arrogant before? Why do you all look like that now? Do you want to eat me? The white-eyed wolf looked at them mockingly. Their expressions were really pleasing to the eye. In the face of such undisguised mockery, the group of people felt sullen and angry to the extreme. They were about to win, but because of the blood dragon blade's betrayal, they were in a desperate situation and became prisoners. All of a sudden, the furious blood dragons looked at the white dragon blade and the other sovereign divine weapons and shouted, "Don't worry about us. Kill them. You're courting death." The blood dragon blade was full of killing intent and a divine power shrouded over. Accompanied by a scream, the blood dragon's divine soul was destroyed by more than half. Qin Feiyang looked at the blood dragon blade and asked, "Did they leave their divine souls in the dragon nest in advance?" Bing Changtian and Qi Xiong don't know, but the dragon's clan leaders didn't. It's their fault for being too confident. They thought they could capture them easily. The blood dragon blade sneered. "Very good." Qin Feiyang nodded. Since the 9 clan leaders of the dragons didn't leave their divine souls in advance, Qi Xiong and Bing Changtian probably didn't leave their divine souls in advance either. It was no doubt an extra layer of insurance for him. Because if they didn't leave their divine souls in advance, they would be afraid of death. Besides, they were all super experts who dominated a region. Naturally, they wouldn't be willing to die like this. Qin Feiyang said, "White-eyed wolf, open the space-time portal and get ready to go to the Sea Lion Island." Sea Lion Island? The white-eyed wolf was stunned. Qin Feiyang said, "The most important thing now is to get rid of the white dragon blade and the other sovereign divine weapons. Do you really want to fight a bloody battle with them? Then let's forget it." The white-eyed wolf shook his head without hesitation. What a joke. 13 sovereign divine weapons. How could they be a joke? Although Bing Changtian and the others had fallen into their hands, they could only make the Dominator divine weapons hesitate. They were far from being strong enough to fight against the Dominator divine weapons. Qin Feiyang looked at the blood dragon blade and said, "Bring them here. Get out of the way." The blood dragon blade yelled at the white dragon sword and the other sovereign divine weapons. "Didn't you hear me? Don't worry about us, kill them." The dragon's clan leader was still roaring. Now, he had almost lost his mind. However, White Dragon Sword and the other Dominator divine weapons followed Bing Changtian and Golden Dragon clan leader. Of course, they wouldn't listen to him. They didn't if that's the case, we'll just fight to the death. Qin Feiyang said. Falling into your hands, isn't it a dead end? YouTube T-Test Master Test T Blood, he'll never show mercy to his enemies. So, it's better to fight him head-on instead of compromising. Don't be afraid. He won't dare to kill us now. He's afraid that White Dragon Blade and the other sovereign divine weapons will kill them if we die. Qi Xiong looked at Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf with disdain. That's right, he's not only afraid of White Dragon Blade and the other sovereign divine weapons, but he's also worried about the people in the northern continent. Qin Feiyang, if you dare to kill us, I can guarantee you that once we die, all the living beings in the northern continent will die because of your foolish actions. Bing Running, the white-haired old woman, the middle-aged man, and the white-haired old man stared at Qin Feiyang and sneered. Bing Running, you're a crazy woman. Princess Wufeng was furious. No matter how cruel she was, she couldn't drag so many innocent people down with her. That's right. I'm a crazy woman. What can you do to me? Bing Running sneered. Don't tarnish the name, crazy. You don't deserve it. Qin Feiyang's eyes turned cold as he looked at the blood dragon blade and shouted, kill the 3 clowns beside Bing Running first. Don't you dare. Bing Running shouted. Do you think I don't dare? Qin Feiyang smiled and looked at the blood dragon blade. Do it. The blood dragon blade laughed and shrouded the white-haired old man, the white-haired old woman, and the middle-aged man. Your Highness, Patriarch, save us, the 3 of them shouted in despair. Bing Changtian shouted, Qin Feiyang, do you really want to start a war with the Ice Phoenix clan? What a joke. Who's here to ambush us? Start a war? Do you think I'm afraid of the Ice Phoenix clan? If Feng Ho and the Fire Phoenix clan don't make a move, we can slaughter the Ice Phoenix clan with our current means. Do you really think you're so great? Qin Feiyang's eyes were full of disdain. As soon as he finished speaking, the divine souls of the middle-aged man and the other 2 shattered into pieces with a shrill cry. They were truly destroyed. Seeing this scene, the Golden Dragon's patriarch and the others couldn't help but feel a chill in their hearts. Especially Qin Feiyang's words. How domineering was it to slaughter the Ice Phoenix clan in minutes? At the same time, Bing Changtian and Bing Running couldn't help but feel their hair stand on end. Qi Xiong and his son had already told them what happened in the Kirin's sacred ground. It was because of this that they joined forces with Qi Xiong and the other dragon's patriarchs to ambush Qin Feiyang and the others here. Because whether it was Qin Feiyang or the white-eyed wolf, they had become existences that they feared. Therefore, now, they wanted to kill him as soon as possible. But they didn't expect that Qin Feiyang had placed such a terrifying chess piece by their side. Qin Feiyang looked at the white dragon sword and the other 13 sovereign divine weapons and said in a deep voice, don't doubt my means. If you don't move away, your master and the others will die. The 13 sovereign divine weapons hesitated. Fine. Then I'll kill them one by one. I'll kill you until you despair and tremble. As for the creatures in the northern continent, if you want to kill them, go ahead. I won't sacrifice myself to save them. I, Qin Feiyang, am not that righteous. Besides, I believe that sooner or later, someone will come to you to collect this debt of blood. Qin Feiyang paused after every word. His murderous aura surged into the sky. He looked at the blood dragon blade and shouted, kill the golden dragon patriarch first. Okay. The blood dragon blade laughed. The golden dragon's patriarch's eyes trembled. The golden dragon spear was also shocked and shouted, stop, I'll move aside. After saying that, it retreated to the side. Seeing the golden dragon spear retreat, the other sovereign divine weapons hesitated for a moment before retreating to the side. The blood dragon blade immediately rushed to the side of Qin Feiyang and the others with a group of divine souls. Well done. From now on, you're my brother. If anyone bullies you, tell me. I'll stand up for you. The white-eyed wolf looked at the blood dragon blade and laughed. When the blood dragon blade heard this, it really wanted to slap him. Brother? Stand up for him? Don't you think about your own weight? Cut the crap, hurry up. Qin Feiyang urged. The white-eyed wolf waved its claws, and a space-time teleportation channel appeared. The white dragon sword said in a deep voice, you can't take them away just like that. That's right. We have to let them go. Otherwise, as you said, we'll just fight to the death. The Black Dragon Mirror and the other sovereign divine weapons also spoke one after another. They definitely couldn't let Qin Feiyang take the chief of the Golden Dragons and the others away. Because with Qin Feiyang's personality, once he was out of danger, he would definitely kill the chief of the Golden Dragons and the others. At that time, they wouldn't even know where Qin Feiyang and the others went, let alone save the chief of the Golden Dragons and the others. Impossible. But don't worry, I won't kill them now. But if you want to save them, ask Feng Ho, the Dragon King, and the Qilin Master to come find me personally. After saying that, Qin Feiyang turned around and led the group into the spacetime channel like lightning. The ancient castle and the other sovereign divine weapons released a monstrous divine power and blasted toward the White Dragon Sword and the other 13 sovereign divine weapons. They also rushed into the spacetime channel without looking back. Sea Lion Island. The moment Qin Feiyang and the others appeared, they directly destroyed the spacetime teleportation channel. This way, even if the White Dragon Sword and the other 13 sovereign divine weapons destroyed the divine power of the ancient castle and the other sovereign divine weapons, they wouldn't be able to chase after them. Boss Qin, Boss Wolf, what's going on? The sea lion was cultivating in the cave below. When it sensed the aura of the 8 sovereign divine weapons in the sky, its expression changed and it hurriedly ran out. When it saw Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf, it heaved a sigh of relief and then asked. It's fine, don't worry. Qin Feiyang waved his hand. That's good. The sea lion heaved a sigh of relief and glanced at Princess Wufeng and the others. Not long ago, the little princess of the dragon sent you a message. Qin Feiyang was stunned. Not long ago? Could it be that she wanted to inform him about the ambush? That was close. I almost died there. Pyrotechnic Glow, the Daifuku brothers, and Princess Wufeng looked at the familiar Sea Lion Island and couldn't help but let out a long sigh of relief. This time, it was really a narrow escape. Look at how scared you are. The white-eyed wolf despised them. Brother Wolf, you really can't blame us for being scared. Think about it, Bing Changtian, the 9 patriarchs of the dragons, Qi Xiong, and 13 sovereign divine weapons. Such a lineup, no matter who it is, they would be scared out of their wits. I'm already proud that I didn't piss my pants. Pyrotechnic Glow shook his head. After living for so many years, it was the first time he had experienced such an exciting thing. However, he was more and more impressed by the means of Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf. They could actually subdue the blood dragon blade. Not to mention him, even existences like Feng Ho and the Lord of Kirin might not be able to make the dragon's sovereign divine weapon willingly surrender. But he didn't know that the blood dragon blade was not willing to surrender at all. Father, what should we do? At the same time, Qi Yu looked at Qin Feiyang and the others, as well as the castle and the other sovereign divine weapons, and his face was full of panic. He had already thought about how to torture Qin Feiyang and the others, but he didn't expect that they would become prisoners in the end. However, Qi Xiong was now in a panic. Back in the Kirin Holy Land, he had already angered Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf. Now, he had joined forces with the dragons and the ice phoenixes to set up a trap to kill them. With Qin Feiyang's character, he would definitely not let him go easily. Chapter 3642. Slap. Suddenly, a loud slap was heard. Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf were stunned. They looked up and saw Princess Wufeng standing in front of Bing Running, her face full of anger. Bing Running was now in the form of an ice phoenix. First Princess Fire Phoenix's slap had nearly shattered her divine soul. One could imagine just how great the strength of this slap was. How dare you slap my face in front of everyone? Bing Running stared at Princess Wufeng in disbelief. Slap. Princess Wufeng raised her hand and slapped her again. You bastard. Bing Running roared. Slap. Princess Wufeng raised her hand and slapped her again. Bing Changtian could not help but say angrily, don't go too far. After all, you are sisters. However, before Bing Changtian could finish his words, Bing Running was slapped in the face again. Bing Running was about to go crazy. Well done. The white-eyed wolf bared his teeth. Princess Wufeng stared at the white-eyed wolf and said to Bing Running, "Do you know why I slapped you?" "Why?" Bing Running roared. "Because you deserve it. Even if you have a grudge with us, you shouldn't implicate innocent creatures. Do you know how many people and beasts there are in the northern continent? If it weren't for the blood dragon blade's betrayal, these innocent people would have died in your hands." Princess Wufeng said angrily. Hee, haha, I didn't expect the Princess Royal of the Fire Phoenix clan to be worried about a group of lowly ants. Bing Running laughed crazily. Stubborn. Princess Wufeng's eyes turned cold, and she slapped Bing Running again. This time, Bing Running screamed, and her divine soul collapsed. Bing Changtian roared. "Uncle. And you?" Princess Wufeng looked at Bing Zhangtian and said disappointedly, "You are the patriarch of the Ice Phoenix clan. You are a person of virtue and prestige. But now, you are here to interfere with the grudges of the younger generation. Don't you feel ashamed?" Bing Changtian lowered his head in shame. "I don't believe that Lord Feng Ho didn't tell you about the 1,000-year agreement between the Feng people and Qin Feiyang. Now that you're colluding with the dragons and Qi Xiong to kill Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf, aren't you afraid that Lord Feng Ho will punish you? You are such a smart person. Don't you know that Qi Xiong is using you?" Princess Wufeng was furious. Pyrotechnic glow reminded her, "Sister, he doesn't just want to kill Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf. He wants to kill us too." Princess Wufeng sighed. She looked at Bing Changtian and said, "No matter what grudges I have with Bing Running, I have always respected you and treated you as my uncle. However, you actually want to kill us. You really disappoint me." Bing Changtian lowered his head in shame. More than that. Back then, Bing Running killed her sister in the heavy region and lied to her people. She even used us to deal with Qin Feiyang. But when the truth came out, did we ever hurt her? Even when our father knew about it, he didn't go after you. We sympathized with her. We didn't want the dragons and the Kailan clan to laugh at us. We didn't want the Feng people to fall apart because of internal strife. You can ask your conscience. How have the Fire Phoenix clan treated the Ice Phoenix clan all these years? We have tolerated you again and again. Is this what you get in return for our kindness? Do you really think the Fire Phoenix clan is weak and won't dare to make trouble for you?" Hua Zihui shouted angrily, feeling indignant. They had gone too far. Princess Wufeng patted Pyrotechnic Glow's shoulder and looked at Bing Changtian and Bing Running. She shook her head and said, "That's all we have to say. Think about it." "Don't think about it. I haven't started yet." The white-eyed wolf grinned and glanced at the group with a hint of mockery in his eyes. The group looked at the white-eyed wolf and couldn't help but shiver. The white-eyed wolf looked at Qin Feiyang and said with a smile, "Send us to the soul-sealing valley." Ah! Qin Feiyang was stunned. The soul-sealing valley. Princess Wufeng was shocked. It was in the soul-sealing valley when Qin Feiyang forced her to take the blood oath. Just hearing the name made her scalp tingle. She came back to her senses and looked at Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf. She asked, "Isn't this a bit too much?" "Too much? Are you still sleepwalking? You almost died in their hands. How can you be so kind?" The white-eyed wolf glared at her. Indeed. These people should be taught a lesson. Qin Feiyang nodded. With a wave of his hand, the white-eyed wolf, Blood Dragon Blade, Bing Changtian, and the others disappeared without a trace. With the white-eyed wolf and Blood Dragon Blade, this group of people couldn't do anything. "Sister, what is the soul-sealing valley? Is it scary?" Pyrotechnic Glow was curious. Daifuku and Bing Changtian were also suspicious. It's more than scary. Princess Wufeng shook her head and whispered in their ears. When they heard about the Soul-Sealing Valley, the three of them couldn't help but feel scared. This place was simply everyone's nightmare. However, these people were usually high and mighty overlords. They were arrogant and looked down on everyone. Now that they had fallen to this point, it was quite satisfying to think about it. Qin Feiyang looked at Princess Fire Phoenix and Pyrotechnic Glow and said with a smile, "Put away the sovereign divine weapons." Okay. The siblings nodded. When the sovereign divine weapons dispersed, Qin Feiyang landed on a mountain peak on the island. He took out a tea table, chairs, and ancient dragon god tea and began to make tea. What do you mean? Princess Wufeng and the others looked at each other. Sea Lion also flew to Qin Feiyang with a puzzled face and asked, "Boss Qin, what's going on? Who are those people that Brother Wolf brought to the Black Tortoise realm?" "They all have great backgrounds," Li Yao said. "The 9 great patriarchs of the dragons, the patriarch of the Ice Phoenix clan, and the younger brother of the patriarch of the Fire Qilin clan." Qin Feiyang smiled. What? Sea Lion was shocked. After hanging out with Qin Feiyang and the White-Eyed Wolf for so long, it knew a little about the situation of the various forbidden areas. The people in these places were all terrifying existences. But now, they had all fallen into the hands of Boss Qin. Amazing. Princess Wufeng brought Pyrotechnic Glow and Daifuku down and frowned. "Why are you still in the mood to drink tea?" "I'm not the one who wants to drink. This is prepared for Feng Ho, Dragon King, and the Qilin Lord. After all, they are honored guests." After Qin Feiyang finished speaking, he took out a jar of unparalleled divine wine from the Black Tortoise realm and placed it on the table. "Is this prepared for me?" Pyrotechnic Glow's eyes lit up. "You?" Qin Feiyang rolled his eyes. "Why don't you look in the mirror? Are you qualified? What are you doing?" This jar of unparalleled divine wine was, of course, prepared for the little rabbit. After settling everything, Qin Feiyang did not sit down and lowered his head to ponder. Buzz. Suddenly, a sound transmission god stone buzzed. Sea Lion was stunned, took out a sound transmission god stone, and looked up at Qin Feiyang. This was the sound transmission god stone that Qin Feiyang asked it to keep. Needless to say, it must be the little princess of the dragons. Because this sound transmission god stone could only establish a contract bridge with her. Qin Feiyang looked up at the sound transmission god stone, then glanced at Princess Wufeng and the other three, then took the sound transmission god stone and entered the Devil's Land. As the sound transmission god stone recovered, the shadow of the little princess of the dragons appeared. "You're actually fine?" Seeing Qin Feiyang appear in front of her without any injuries, the little princess of the dragons was very surprised. "You can't wait for something to happen to me?" Qin Feiyang was helpless. Of course. The little princess of the dragons was also quite straightforward. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, "Sorry, it's not me who's in trouble, it's them." "It can't be." The little princess of the dragons was shocked. "You'll know soon. Not long ago, you sent me a message. It couldn't be to inform me that there was an ambush in the Death Glacier, right?" Qin Feiyang asked with a smile. "You're thinking too much. We're enemies. Let's talk about it later. That big brother of mine is not dead, why should I help you?" The little princess of the dragons snorted coldly. "Haha, it seems that you're still a cold-faced but warm-hearted girl." Qin Feiyang laughed. "Stop flattering me." The little princess of the dragons rolled her eyes, and then said, "Let me tell you, you must do what you promised me before. Next time. The next time I meet the first prince of the dragons, I'll end his life. As for last time, I was actually quite surprised. But there's no other way. Long Chen saved me, I have to return this favor to him." Qin Feiyang said. "All right. The little princess of the dragons nodded. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, "But then again, this time you've actually saved your father's life by informing me." The little princess of the dragons frowned her beautiful brows, and said, "Don't tell me, they've all fallen into your hands? Otherwise? Just wait and see, the white dragon sword and the other sovereign divine weapons should soon return to the dragon's nest. At that time, your Lord Dragon King may personally come to find me." Qin Feiyang smiled playfully. "You're really a terrifying enemy." The little princess of the dragons shook her head. "Likewise." Qin Feiyang smiled. To be honest, this little princess of the dragons really made him a little wary. Because it was difficult to see through her. "All right. I'll wait for your good news." After the little princess of the dragons finished speaking, she turned off the sound transmission god stone. At this moment, she was sitting in a pavilion in a courtyard, with a pot of tea in front of her, emitting a faint tea fragrance. After turning off the sound transmission god stone, she lowered her head and fell into deep thought. "Ling Long, you really are colluding with Qin Feiyang." But suddenly, a silver-haired middle-aged man walked out of the void and looked at the little princess of the dragons angrily. "Father?" The little princess of the dragons was shocked, and quickly got up to look at the silver dragons. "Earlier, when you told me not to ambush Qin Feiyang, I found it strange, so I've been monitoring you here. You really are bold. Do you know what the consequences will be if Lord Dragon King finds out about this?" The silver dragon set up a soundproof barrier, his face ashen. Seeing this scene with his own eyes, his heart was really angry to the extreme. He never thought that his daughter would actually collude with the enemy of the dragons. Chapter 36-43. The little princess of the dragons lowered her head, as if she was a little afraid, but also a little wronged. Seeing her like this, the silver dragons couldn't help but feel distressed. He stepped forward and stroked the hair on his daughter's forehead, sighing, "Ling Long, it's been so many years, are you still unable to let it go?" The little princess of the dragons slapped away her father's hand and turned to look at the ground behind her. Her eyes were slightly red, interrupted by tears. The silver dragons felt extremely guilty and said, "All these years, in your eyes, father must have been a very useless person." "No." Hearing this, the little princess of the dragons quickly turned to look at her father and shook her head. Daughter has never thought so, because daughter knows that father has his own difficulties. Thank you for your understanding. The silver-haired patriarch smiled. Daughter is too considerate of father, that's why I didn't dare to tell you, because I didn't want to make things difficult for you. But there are some things that daughter must do. Otherwise, daughter won't be at ease for the rest of her life. Although I'm cooperating with Qin Feiyang now, father, please believe me, I know what's appropriate." The little princess of the dragons said with a pleading expression. The silver dragons saw that his daughter didn't have any selfish intentions and said angrily, "But do you know what the consequences will be if this matter is exposed?" Daughter already knew when she took the first step. But daughter doesn't regret it. And it won't implicate father and our silver dragon clansmen. The little princess of the dragons said. "Ling Long, why do you have to do this? In this world, there are actually many things that are worth cherishing." The silver dragons said anxiously. "Yes, I admit it. But no matter what, it can never replace brother's love. Father, if you really want to stop me, it's best to kill me now, otherwise I won't stop taking revenge on them." The little princess of the dragons revealed a stubborn side, her eyes filled with hatred. "You," the silver dragons raised his arm. The little princess of the dragons was not afraid at all. Instead, she tiptoed and moved closer to the silver-haired patriarch's hand. The silver dragon clan leader felt an indescribable heartache at the sight of his stubborn daughter. He slowly lowered his arm and sighed, "Go ahead and do what you need to do. I'll take care of everything for you." After saying that, he turned around and dispersed the sound barrier and walked out of the door. But suddenly, he stopped again, pondered for a moment, and said, "Protect yourself well, don't be used by Qin Feiyang." After saying that, he walked out without looking back, disappearing from the sight of the little princess of the dragon race. "Father, thank you." The little princess of the dragons muttered, clang. Suddenly, several terrifying divine auras appeared in the sky above the dragon lair. Dominators, the dragon race's little princess was shocked, and she quickly walked out of the pavilion. She raised her head and saw the white dragon's sword and the other 9 sovereign divine weapons rushing into the depths of the dragon nest. Qin Feiyang, you are indeed formidable. Soul-sealing Valley. After finishing the conversation with the little princess of the dragons, Qin Feiyang came to the soul-sealing valley. At this time, Qi Xiong and the others had been suppressed in the soul-sealing valley by the white-eyed wolf and the blood dragon blade. Without exception, they were all roaring with resentment. They never thought that they would face such torture. Not to mention them, even the blood dragon blade couldn't help but feel afraid when he looked at the soul-sealing valley. This was simply the behavior of a demon. Scream, scream. Scream as loud as you can. That's more exciting. The white-eyed wolf stood in the air, blocking his nostrils and laughing. Watching them struggle and roar in the soul-sealing valley was more enjoyable than directly killing them. Qin Feiyang. The blood dragon blade noticed the arrival of Qin Feiyang and couldn't help but feel a sense of fear in his heart. He then flew in front of Qin Feiyang and said in admiration, "Your method of torturing people is really brilliant. How did you think of it?" There was a hint of flattery in his words. "You'll have to ask the white-eyed wolf." Qin Feiyang smiled. "As expected, it's this shameless wolf cub." The blood dragon blade muttered. Before, it had also thought this way. That was because although Qin Feiyang was vicious and merciless toward his enemies, he would not go so far as to think of such a wicked move. "Are you afraid of the Dragon King's revenge?" Qin Feiyang suddenly looked at the blood dragon blade and asked. The blood dragon blade sighed, "We've already come this far, what's the use of being afraid?" "It seems that you're still afraid. How strong is this Dragon King?" Qin Feiyang was curious. "Very strong. You'll know when you fight with him in the future." There was a sense of awe in the blood dragon blade's words. "Don't worry. Since you've already joined me, no matter what happens, I'll stand with you." Qin Feiyang smiled slightly. The blood dragon blade was taken aback. This sentence sounded quite pleasant. "Little Qin Z. Look at them, they're so cute." The white-eyed wolf also ran over at this time and chuckled. "Cute?" The blood dragon blade was speechless. This was a disgusting face, okay? It really didn't know what this wolf cub's eyes were. "Let them soak for a while." Qin Feiyang smiled. The white-eyed wolf asked, "Then when should we kill them?" "Not kill." Qin Feiyang shook his head. "Not kill?" The white-eyed wolf and the blood dragon blade couldn't help but be stunned. "Yes." Qin Feiyang nodded and asked, "What do we need the most now?" "Nonsense. Of course, we need more chips to make the Dragon King and the others hesitate." The white-eyed wolf said without hesitation. "Wrong. We need time. As for chips, if we really anger the Dragon King, it's useless no matter how many we have." Qin Feiyang shook his head. The blood dragon blade said, "That makes sense. With the Dragon King's character, once he's angered, he'll even kill his own people." "He'll even kill his own people?" The white-eyed wolf was shocked. "You don't understand him. He's a devil. I've been in the world for so many years, and I've never met anyone more ruthless than him. So when you face him in the future, you'd better stop before going too far." The blood dragon blade warned. Qin Feiyang nodded, looked at the white-eyed wolf and explained, "The golden dragons and the others are no longer a concern for us. We can kill them at any time. But now, they are very good chips because they can help us by 1,000 years." "I see. Now the Feng people and the Kirin clan have a 1,000-year agreement with us. The only thing missing is the dragons." You want to use these people to negotiate with the Dragon King. The white-eyed wolf was suddenly enlightened. That's right. If the Dragon King also agrees to our request for 1,000 years, then we can concentrate on cultivating without any worries during this period of time. Qin Feiyang laughed. The white-eyed wolf asked, in that case, why not 10,000 years? 100,000 years? The Feng people and the Kirin clan have a 1,000-year agreement with us. Do you think the Dragon King will agree to our conditions of 10,000 years or 100,000 years? We'll talk about it later. Just now, the Blood Dragon Blade said that we should stop before going too far with the Dragon King. We can't force him too much. Qin Feiyang rolled his eyes at it. All right. The golden dragons and the others are really nothing to us. It doesn't matter to let them live a little longer. However, they can't escape punishment. The white-eyed wolf nodded. Now. The only thing they were afraid of was the Dragon King, the Kirin Master, Feng Ho, and the sovereign divine weapons of the 3 forbidden areas. 5,000 years in the Black Tortoise realm now. Even if only an hour has passed outside, many years have passed here. They will suffer. Qin Feiyang laughed. No. No matter what, it will take at least 10,000 years. The white-eyed wolf shook its head. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, that will depend on whether you can delay until tomorrow or the day after the Dragon King and the others arrive. We'll see then. The white-eyed wolf pondered for a while, waved its claws, and then asked, what about Qi Xiong and his son? They can be killed, right? Logically speaking, even if we kill them now, the Kirin Master won't say anything. After all, they came to court death. But we still have to give them face. This is also the reason why I asked the Kirin Master and Feng Ho to come together. They already have a 1,000-year agreement with us. From another perspective, they are now our allies. With them and the little rabbit, the Dragon King will agree to our conditions more easily. In short, Qi Xiong and the other small fries can be killed at any time. There's no hurry. Qin Feiyang laughed. Okay. I'll listen to you. Who asked you to make sense? The white-eyed wolf laughed. Then let's go and wait for these big shots. Qin Feiyang smiled and appeared at the top of the mountain with the blood dragon blade and the white-eyed wolf. Awesome. As soon as he came out, he saw the pyrotechnic glow holding a wine jar and drinking leisurely. Qin Feiyang saw that the unparalleled divine brew on the table had disappeared, and his face darkened. This little rascal really didn't know how to be polite. I don't know him. Princess Fire Phoenix smiled awkwardly and turned her head to look elsewhere. Qin Feiyang had no choice but to take out another jar of unparalleled divine brew and put it on the table. Pyrotechnic Glow immediately pointed at the divine brew and said to the white-eyed wolf, Brother Wolf, Qin Dage is treating. Don't be shy. The white-eyed wolf's mouth twitched. He looked at Princess Wufeng and whispered, Your little brother seems to be even more shameless than me. I said I don't know him. Princess Wufeng glared at the white-eyed wolf. You're taking it out on me? Get out of here. The white-eyed wolf was furious. You want me to leave? I'm not leaving. I'm still waiting for the God-slaying tablet to evolve into a Dominator divine weapon. Princess Wufeng said angrily. The God-slaying tablet is my divine weapon now. What does it have to do with you? The white-eyed wolf raised his eyebrows. Shame on you. Princess Wufeng said angrily. My two little ancestors, can you stop arguing? The God-slaying tablet hasn't evolved yet. What's there to argue about? Qin Feiyang was helpless. They clearly liked each other, but they hid it in their hearts and insisted on being a quarrelsome couple. Tired of it? Anyway, Qin Feiyang despised the white-eyed wolf. He dared to love, but he didn't dare to admit it. He didn't have the dominance of a man at all. Chapter 3644. However, the Daifuku brothers were very worried about the relationship between the white-eyed wolf and the Princess Wufeng. Although the white-eyed wolf had displayed astonishing strength and was completely worthy of the Grand Princess of their Fire Phoenix clan, the relationship between the Feng people and Qin Feiyang and the others would sooner or later be broken. If it really came to this, how would the princess and the white-eyed wolf face each other? At that time, would the white-eyed wolf leave Qin Feiyang? Or would the princess leave the Feng people? Or would they break off their relationship and fight to the death? No matter which choice it was, it would cause them great harm. About half an hour passed. A terrifying aura descended upon the sky above the heavenly cloud sea. Moreover, from this aura, one could feel a monstrous anger and killing intent. In an instant, all the creatures in the heavenly cloud sea were alarmed. One had to know. The heavenly cloud sea was even vaster than the 4 continents. To be able to alarm the entire heavenly cloud sea, one could imagine how strong the person who came was. At the same time, the 8 beast emperors that were scattered all over the place walked out of their caves and looked up at the sky above the sea. What's going on? You actually came to our heavenly cloud sea in anger? The Sea Lion Emperor and the other 8 beast emperors couldn't help but frown. Sea Lion Island. Qin Feiyang and the others were also shocked as they scanned the sky above the sea in the distance. This is the aura of the Dragon King. He has been to the Phoenix Nest before, so he is familiar with his aura. Princess Wufeng's pupils contracted. This is the strength of the Dragon King. Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf looked at each other. This aura was even more dangerous than when they saw the white-bearded old man's law of darkness in the Qilin Holy Land. Who? It was useless to be afraid. Qin Feiyang took a deep breath and laughed. To find the heavenly cloud sea in half an hour, your speed is quite fast. You're the only one who can still laugh. Daifuku shook his head and sighed. Even if he had the Feng people behind him, he couldn't help but feel nervous. The problems in this world will not be solved just because you are nervous. Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. No matter what, he had to maintain a calm heart. Boom! Qin Feiyang's voice had yet to fall when a powerful divine sense enveloped the entire heavenly cloud sea. Under this divine sense, there was nowhere for them to hide. Swish! The next moment, a blurry figure descended above Sea Lion Island. Boss Qin, Boss Wolf, don't blame me for not being loyal. I really don't dare to stay here any longer. Take care. As soon as the sea lion saw, he turned his head didn't look back. Looked diced. It can't really. After all, in the current Sky Cloud realm, there are not many who dare to face the Lord Dragon King directly. Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. Greetings, Lord Dragon King. Princess Wufeng, the Daifuku brothers, and Pyrotechnic Glow also quickly put down the wine jar and bowed. The Dragon King's entire body was shrouded in a mist of light, making it impossible to see his true appearance. However, the terrifying aura that was surging around him caused the surrounding void to collapse. It was as if this world could not bear his anger. He didn't answer. The void was dead silent. But Qin Feiyang, White-Eyed Wolf, and Blood Dragon Blade could feel that the Dragon King was looking at them with eyes as sharp as a blade. Qin Feiyang and White-Eyed Wolf were fine. They had even faced Small Beast and Ice Dragon, let alone the Dragon King. No matter how strong the Dragon King was, could he be stronger than Ice Dragon and Small Beast? But Blood Dragon Blade was extremely nervous. Even as a sovereign divine weapon, he had a kind of fear from the bottom of his heart towards the Dragon King. Qin Feiyang. Golden-Winged Wolf King. Blood Dragon Blade. Good. Very good. Dragon King suddenly spoke. However, he only said those few words. After that, his frightening aura surged toward Qin Feiyang and the others like a tide. Even Princess Wufeng and the other 3 were not excluded. Dragon King, what are you doing? Suddenly, A pleasant yet cold voice rang out. Swish. The next moment, another figure shrouded in flames descended in the sky. Lord Feng Ho, Princess Wufeng and the other three were as if they saw their savior. Dragon King, who gave you the courage to hurt the children of the Feng people? Feng Ho's tone had a trace of anger. A terrifying aura emerged and blasted towards the Dragon King's aura. The two auras collided with a loud bang. Heaven and earth instantly fell into darkness. Following closely, accompanied by a loud bang, Qin Feiyang and the others saw a scene of heaven and earth shattering in front of them. You too, don't hurt the innocent sea beasts. Otherwise, when Little Rabbit comes, she will definitely settle the score with you. Another hoarse laugh rang out. It was the Lord of Kirin. Qin Feiyang and the others were naturally familiar with the voice of the Lord of Kirin. Swish. The next moment, the Lord of Kirin appeared in the sky, his whole body shrouded in endless flames. As he waved his hand, an invisible force emerged and enveloped all directions. The aura fluctuations that filled the sky immediately dissipated in the void. Phew. Princess Wufeng and the other three could not help but let out a long breath. The oppressive feeling of these supreme existences was really suffocating. Qin Feiyang glanced at the three, cupped his hands and smiled. This junior has already prepared the divine tea, please take a seat. N. Feng Ho and the Lord of Kirin looked down at the top of the mountain. They had actually prepared the divine tea, so they were not worried at all. Why are you here again? Could it be that you really want to find a tomb in the sky cloud sea? Another teasing voice sounded. The little rabbit appeared out of thin air. Tomb. Qin Feiyang and the others were stunned. In the entire sky cloud realm, only this little rabbit dared to speak to the three lords of the forbidden area like this. Qin Feiyang looked at the little rabbit and said with a smile, Big brother, the wine has also been prepared for you. Not bad, not bad, third brother is sensible. The little rabbit lowered her head and saw the unparalleled divine wine on the table. She immediately landed on the top of the mountain, hugged the wine jar, and lay on the chair prepared by Qin Feiyang, and gulped down the wine. Big brother? Third brother? Pyrotechnic glow glanced at Qin Feiyang and the little rabbit. Were they so close? The little rabbit took a big gulp, looked up at the three lords of the forbidden area, and said suspiciously, Divine tea, divine wine, they have all been prepared for you, why are you still standing up there? Do you want Uncle Rabbit to personally deliver it to you? Hee hee. How could we dare to trouble you? The Lord of Kirin and Feng Ho smiled and landed on the top of the mountain, sitting opposite each other. Although they were covered in flames, they did not hurt Qin Feiyang and the others, nor did they burn the chairs and tea tables. Humph. Dragon King snorted and also landed on the top of the mountain, sitting opposite the little rabbit. That's right. If there's something, we can talk about it slowly. Why do you have to fight as soon as you come? How harmful. The little rabbit chuckled and glanced at Qin Feiyang. Third brother, tell me, how did you provoke these three old farts? Old farts? Qin Feiyang and the others' mouths twitched. They really did not give any face to the three lords of the forbidden area. Qin Feiyang revealed a wronged expression and said bitterly, Big brother, you can't blame us for this. We are the biggest victims. If not for our cleverness, we wouldn't have been able to send you off in the future. What the hell? The little rabbit raised an eyebrow. Cough cough. No, no. If not for our cleverness, we wouldn't have been able to see you again, big brother. Qin Feiyang quickly corrected himself with a smile. Then what's the situation? Don't be afraid. As long as you're in the right, I'll stand up for you. The little rabbit patted her chest and said as she drank. Looking at the majestic little rabbit, Xiao Fu transmitted her voice, Brother, I also want to have a big brother like this. With such a big brother, wouldn't she be able to do whatever she wanted? Daifuku's mouth twitched and said angrily in his mind, Sorry, you reincarnated in the wrong body. Your big brother is not that powerful. Ha! Xiao Fu chuckled secretly. Qin Feiyang sighed and looked at the little rabbit. Big brother, it's like this, right then. Thus, he recounted everything that had happened in detail. What? Hearing that, the little rabbit slammed the tea table and looked at the three lords of the Forbidden Lands, saying angrily, "What is the meaning of this? How dare you bully Lord Rabbit's little brother like this? Are you not giving Lord Rabbit face?" Cough cough. The Qilin Lord coughed dryly and said with a smile, "This is indeed Qi Xiong's fault. I apologize." Sorry. Feng Ho also smiled awkwardly. If they were facing someone else now, even if their clansmen were in the wrong, they wouldn't show the slightest bit of apology. But there was no other way. Now, they were facing this little rabbit. "Dragon King, why aren't you saying anything? To be honest, Lord Rabbit is really impressed by your old face. It was clearly your clansmen who provoked you first, and in the end, you came to find trouble with my little brother so righteously. Don't you dragons have the word shame in your dictionary?" The little rabbit looked at Dragon King with a face full of ridicule. Crack. The sound of joints colliding rang out one after another. It was obvious. Dragon King, who was shrouded in divine light, had already clenched his fists. "Don't look like you're going to eat someone." The little rabbit didn't care at all. Looking at Qin Feiyang and White-Eyed Wolf, he nodded and said, "You guys did well. You didn't embarrass Big Brother. Big Brother supports you. Thank you for the praise, Big Brother." Qin Feiyang chuckled. With such a big brother, it's hard to keep a low profile. "Sister, when will you be able to protect me like this? I really hope that one day, I can be a super playboy without any worries." Pyrotechnic Glow shook his head and sighed. Scram. Princess Wufeng glared at him. She also wanted to have such a big brother, but how was that possible? There was no point in being envious. The little rabbit drank a mouthful of divine wine, looked at Qin Feiyang and asked, "Third brother, where are they now?" Other than Bing Runing's 3 followers, the others are still alive. They are now being suppressed in the Black Tortoise world. Qin Feiyang said. "What the hell? They're still alive? What did Big Brother usually tell you? We don't cause trouble, but we're not afraid of trouble. Those who dare to come and provoke us, no matter what kind of backer they have, we'll kill them all." The little rabbit said angrily. "That's not good." Qin Feiyang glanced at the 3 lords of the Forbidden Lands. "What's not good about it? If people don't offend me, I won't offend them. If people offend me, I'll send them to see the old king of hell." The little rabbit slammed the tea table and roared. Chapter 36-45. Yes. Big brother, don't be angry, I will remember it in the future. Qin Feiyang nodded repeatedly. Useless. The little rabbit glared at Qin Feiyang, then looked up at the 3 lords of the Forbidden Lands and said indifferently, "Tell me, how are you going to compensate them for their mental damage?" Damage? The 3 lords of the Forbidden Lands were stunned. "You came all the way here, aren't you compensating them for their damage?" The little rabbit raised her eyebrows. Hearing this, the corners of the Qilin Master and Feng Ho's mouths twitched. "Let's not talk about us first. Look at the Dragon King, does he look like he's here to compensate for their damage? Have you had enough?" The Dragon King finally spoke, his patience almost reaching its limit. The little rabbit said, "How is this messing around? We're just trying to reason, okay? Your people hurt them for no reason, shouldn't you compensate them?" The Dragon King exuded a shocking aura and said in a deep voice, "I've already given you enough face, don't push your luck. I'm not in the mood to talk nonsense with you, release them immediately." "So, Uncle Rabbit has to thank you for giving me this face?" The little rabbit's eyes flickered with a cold light. The Dragon King suddenly stood up and said angrily, "Don't forget our agreement." Hearing this, the little rabbit couldn't help but fall silent. Agreement? Qin Feiyang and the others looked at each other. What agreement? The Dragon King said coldly, if you don't keep your word, then don't blame me for being impolite. The sea of heavenly clouds is very strong, but do you think I, the dragons, will be afraid of you? The little rabbit held the wine jar, raised her head, and drank it in one breath. She slammed the wine jar and also stood up, staring at the Dragon King and said, then let's try. The Dragon King clenched his fists. Everyone present could feel a bone-piercing murderous intent from him. The little rabbit was not to be outdone. If you want to fight, then fight, don't involve us. After all, we have a 1,000-year agreement with Qin Feiyang, don't you think so, Qilin Master? Feng Ho said with a smile. Yes. The Qilin Master nodded. When the Dragon King heard this, his brows involuntarily raised. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed slightly. He looked at the Dragon King and said with a smile, Lord Dragon King, you don't have to be so angry. We can discuss things slowly. As long as you agree to this junior's condition, this junior will immediately hand him over. What qualifications do you have to negotiate with me? Dragon King's words were full of contempt. This junior is indeed not qualified to negotiate with you, Lord Dragon King. After all, the 9 great clans' clan heads do not hold much weight in your heart. However, if you don't even save your own people, what do you think people will say about you behind your back? Although you're powerful, how are you going to shut the mouths of everyone? Of course. If you don't care about these criticisms, then just pretend that I never said anything. Qin Feiyang smiled. What a glib tongue. Dragon King sneered. Thank you, Lord, for the compliment. Qin Feiyang cupped his hands and smiled. He continued, actually, this junior's condition is not too difficult. Why don't you listen to what I have to say first? Dragon King pondered for a moment and said coldly, then tell me. 10,000 years. Within 10,000 years, we will temporarily put aside our grudges and live in peace. Qin Feiyang smiled. When the Dragon King heard this, a murderous aura suddenly rose from his body. 10,000 years? The white-eyed wolf looked at Qin Feiyang suspiciously. Not long ago in the Black Tortoise world, didn't he say 1,000 years? Why did it become 10,000 years? At the same time, Feng Ho and the Qilin Master were also pondering in their hearts. They thought that Qin Feiyang would definitely use the 9 great clans' clan heads as bargaining chips to make some excessive demands of the Dragon King. They did not expect it to be just like this. 10,000 years, for people of their level, was just a blink of an eye. Qin Feiyang looked at the Dragon King and said with a smile, this request is not excessive. What a joke. You, the Feng people, and the Qilin clan all have a 1,000-year agreement. When it comes to me, it becomes a 10,000-year agreement? Do you think that my dragons are inferior to them? Dragon King shouted. Exactly the opposite. In this junior's heart, the dragons are the most powerful existences. It is precisely because this junior does not have the confidence to surpass the dragons within 1,000 years that I proposed a 10,000-year agreement. Qin Feiyang's flattery could satisfy the Dragon King's vanity. Qin Feiyang, from what you said, you have the confidence to surpass the Feng people and the Qilin clan within 1,000 years? Feng Ho said with a slightly cold tone. I dare not, I dare not. Qin Feiyang hurriedly waved his hand. Humph. This senior thinks that you are too arrogant. Feng Ho snorted coldly. Yes, yes, yes. Qin Feiyang nodded repeatedly and transmitted his voice. This junior will apologize to the 2 seniors later. What he said is not unreasonable. My dragons are originally stronger than you. Dragon King laughed. Feng Ho and the Qilin clan snorted. Dragon King stopped laughing and looked at Qin Feiyang. Don't think that this senior will fall into your trap just because of some flattery. Don't say that this senior did not give you a chance. Just like the Feng people and the Qilin clan, I will give you 1,000 years. This, Qin Feiyang looked a little unwilling. This senior's greatest limit. It's best if you agree. If not, don't blame this senior for being ruthless. Dragon King said. Sigh. Qin Feiyang sighed and nodded. Okay, thank you, Lord Dragon King. The white-eyed wolf suddenly realized that Qin Feiyang deliberately proposed 10,000 years. Because if he directly proposed a 1,000-year agreement, the Dragon King might reduce the time. At least you know your place. Since this senior has agreed to your conditions, you have to satisfy this senior's request. Dragon King said. What request? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. Dragon King glanced at the blood dragon blade and said, Give it to this senior. The blood dragon blade was shocked. Sure enough, he did not intend to let it go. In fact, it had already expected that because the Dragon King would not allow anyone to betray him, but it always had a trace of luck in its heart. Blood dragon blade? Qin Feiyang was slightly stunned and turned to look at the blood dragon blade floating beside him. The blood dragon blade was extremely nervous. If Qin Feiyang really handed it over to the Dragon King, it would definitely not have a good ending. Qin Feiyang suddenly smiled and turned to look at the Dragon King, shaking his head. Impossible. You're courting death. The Dragon King's killing intent reappeared. The blood dragon blade is now this junior's partner. No matter how heartless this junior is, it is impossible for this junior to abandon his partner. Qin Feiyang's attitude was very firm. Partner, when the blood dragon blade heard this, it suddenly had mixed feelings. In fact, it had always hated Qin Feiyang. If it were not for Qin Feiyang, how could it reach this step today? Moreover, in its opinion, what Qin Feiyang valued was its value and strength. But it never thought that he would actually treat it as his partner. Partner, these two words were too unfamiliar to a dominator weapon like it, and it had never experienced such warm care. The atmosphere became solemn. Looking at the silent Dragon King, Qin Feiyang firmly said, Senior, you have a bottom line, this junior also has a bottom line. Are you not afraid that this senior will go back on his word? The Dragon King said gloomily. If senior really wants to be a person who doesn't keep his word, what else can this junior say? At worst, I will die. It is worth it to be able to drag the 9 patriarchs down with me. Moreover, this junior will not necessarily die. When Qin Feiyang said the last sentence, his eyes suddenly became extremely fierce. Feng Ho smiled and said, Little guy, you are very confident. I dare not. However, in today's Sky Cloud realm, except for the few of you, I think there is no one who is a match for me and the white-eyed wolf. Qin Feiyang said with a faint smile. The white-eyed wolf also took a step forward and landed beside Qin Feiyang. Looking at the Dragon King, he said, Yes, we will not leave any of our partners behind. If you really want to fight, we will accompany you to the end. Qin Feiyang, white-eyed wolf, blood dragon blade looked at this scene and was extremely moved. This feeling of being cared for, taken care of, and cared for was really good. But at the same time, the Dragon King's murderous aura became more and more terrifying. How about this? Let's let the blood dragon blade choose for itself. The little rabbit bared its teeth. Feng Ho and the Qilin Lord were speechless. If the blood dragon blade were to choose for itself, it would definitely choose Qin Feiyang and the golden-winged wolf king. Because choosing the Dragon King would definitely not end well. This favoritism was too obvious. Otherwise, what good ideas do you have? My little brother neither stole nor robbed. He relied on his own sincerity and hard work to persuade the blood dragon blade to abandon the dark and join the light. What? Can't others change their ways and become a new person? Let's talk about it later. Who has the confidence to suppress the sovereign divine weapon one-on-one? If you don't have confidence, how can you control their fate? Are you dragons and the 9 sovereign divine weapons going to join forces to suppress the blood dragon blade? The little rabbit looked at the Dragon King playfully. The Dragon King was furious and shouted, Let them go. That's right. That's the demeanor of an expert. The little rabbit chuckled. Little Qin Zi, do you really want to let them go now? The white-eyed wolf transmitted his voice, a little unwilling. What else can we do? Now the Dragon King is extremely angry. If we delay any longer, I'm afraid we will completely enrage him. Don't worry. There will be plenty of time in the future. There will be opportunities to torture them in the future. Qin Feiyang thought to himself. The white-eyed wolf heard this and nodded. All right, you decide. Qin Feiyang glanced at the three lords of the forbidden areas. As he waved his hand, the divine souls of Qi Xiong and the others appeared. As their divine souls appeared, a pungent stench immediately filled the air above the island. What's going on? The little rabbit jumped far away with a whoosh. The three lords of the forbidden areas were also dumbfounded. Master Dragon King, Ancestor. Master Feng Ho, you have to make a decision for us. When Bing Changtian and the others saw the three lords of the forbidden areas, they immediately ran up to them like children who had been wronged and complained tearfully. However, the three lords of the forbidden areas also retreated far away in disdain. Princess Huafeng and the others saw this scene and could not help but laugh. Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf looked at each other and glanced at the group of people suspiciously. He asked, "What's wrong with you? Bastard. Are you still playing dumb?" Bing Running shouted angrily. For a woman, it was worse than death. Why are you playing dumb? Why don't I understand what you're saying? Didn't I arrange a place for you in the Black Tortoise realm with a very good environment and beautiful scenery? Why are you all like this? Qin Feiyang covered his nose with a puzzled expression. Chapter 36-46. Hearing Qin Feiyang's words, Bing Running and the others were about to explode from anger. Your Excellency Dragon King, the place he was talking about with an especially good environment and charming scenery is actually just a huge cesspool. The 9 Dragons clan patriarchs looked at Dragon King who was standing far away and shouted. Qin Feiyang. Dragon King looked at Qin Feiyang from afar and could clearly feel the anger in his heart. Lord Dragon King, I really didn't. I really arranged for them to stay in a beautiful place. If you don't believe me, you can ask Pyrotechnic Glow and the others. Qin Feiyang said. Yes. Princess Wufen coughed and nodded at Dragon King. Liar. She's lying. Lord Feng Ho, she is now in cahoots with Qin Feiyang. Please help us. Bing Running looked at Feng Ho and shouted. Suddenly, the white-eyed wolf said, You guys are really ruthless. We're ruthless? A group of people looked at the white-eyed wolf in astonishment. Using such a vicious method to torture them and saying that they were ruthless, how shameless could they be? Indeed ruthless. Qin Feiyang also nodded. Bastard, what are you talking about? Bing Running shouted angrily. You guys know what we're talking about. You actually came up with such a vicious trick. To think that we treated you guys as VIPs. Qin Feiyang snorted coldly. Trick? VIPs? A group of people was completely dumbfounded. What the hell is this? The white-eyed wolf said, You guys definitely want to take revenge on us, so you deliberately made it like this. Revenge on you guys? Deliberately made it like this? A group of people went crazy. We must be sick to deliberately make it like this. Sigh. What a good scheme. Deliberately made it like this. When Dragon King and the others see it, they will definitely think that it was us who did it. Greedy wolves, they deserve to be killed. Qin Feiyang lamented. What nonsense are you talking about? The blood dragons roared. Sigh. I admire you guys. In order to frame me and little Qin Zi, you guys are actually so ruthless to yourself. I'm ashamed of myself. The white-eyed wolf shook his head. I admit defeat. Qin Feiyang also cupped his hands and sighed, his face filled with admiration. Bastard, bastard, Lord Dragon King, it's not like that, Phoenix Empress, they're making a false countercharge, a group of people shouted. All, shut your mouths. The Dragon King shouted to take to them to BS. The group of people was shocked and immediately fell silent. Qin Feiyang, Golden Wings Wolf King, you guys are indeed good. However, we still have a long way to go. Let's wait and see. Dragon King said gloomily. Then, he disappeared with the patriarchs of the 9 clans. Ancestor, Qi Xiong and his son looked at the Lord of Kirin. You still have the nerve to complain? Go back immediately. Once your bodies are reconstructed, go to the Thunder Punishment Stairway to receive your punishment. The Lord of Kirin said angrily and activated a space-time transmission divine artifact. Thunder Punishment Stairway to Heaven. Qi Xiong and his sons' expressions changed. They hurriedly cried out, Ancestor, please spare us, go away. The Lord of Kirin roared. The father and son trembled and immediately rushed toward the space-time transmission divine artifact. Feng Ho also said, Bing Changtian, Bing Running, you guys are really making me proud. Lord Feng Ho, we are sorry. The father and daughter were also terrified. Go back and prepare to be punished. The Fire Phoenix clan will be in charge of the Dominator divine weapons of the Ice Phoenix clan. After saying that, Feng Ho opened a space-time tunnel. Lord Bing Changtian's eyes trembled. However, Princess Wufeng and the other 3 were secretly happy when they heard that. Because this way, the 10 Dominator divine weapons of the Feng people would all fall into the hands of the Fire Phoenix clan. Do I need to say it again? Feng Ho raised her eyebrows. Bing Changtian trembled slightly. He turned around and glanced at Qin Feiyang and the others with hatred. Then, he entered the space-time tunnel with Bing Running. Both of you are wise. Qin Feiyang looked at Feng Ho and the Lord of Kirin and smiled. Don't play tricks. I haven't settled the previous score with you. How dare you say that our clans are inferior to the dragons? The 2 of them were a little angry. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, This is just to flatter the Dragon King. Both of you are highly respected. I don't think you will hold it against me. Otherwise, just because Qi Xiong and Qi Yu have repeatedly offended you, let's see if I would hold it against you or not. The Lord of Kirin snorted. Yes. I won't dare to do it again. Qin Feiyang nodded and apologized. All right. 1,000 years will pass soon. You are on your own. Feng Ho said meaningfully. Looking at Princess Wufeng in pyrotechnic glow, she said lightly, You have been crazy outside for so long. It's time to stop. Come back with me. I don't want to go back now. Princess Wufeng lowered her head and said. Haven't you had enough? Feng Ho frowned. No. Princess Wufeng hurriedly waved her hand and said in a low voice, The God-slaying tablet is still in the Black Tortoise realm. I want to wait for it to evolve. It's yours. No one can take it away. If it's not yours, you can't keep it. Phoenix Empress opened another space-time passageway and walked in without looking back. Princess Wufeng's face was full of unwillingness. Your Highness, let's go. Don't make Lord Feng Ho angry. Daifuku and Princess Wufeng persuaded in low voices. Just you wait. Princess Wufeng glared at Qin Feiyang and White-Eyed Wolf. She left the Fire Phoenix Sword and Fire Phoenix Divine Jade and led Daifuku and Princess Wufeng into the space-time tunnel. Brother Wolf, I don't know how long it will take for us to come out. Give me some unparalleled divine wine. Pyrotechnic Glow looked at White-Eyed Wolf with a pitiful look. No. White-Eyed Wolf shook his head. Pyrotechnic Glow said with a bitter face, Don't be like this. You're my big brother from now on. Please. White-Eyed Wolf rolled his eyes. He took out 1,000 jars of unparalleled divine wine and said indifferently, Drink it sparingly. Brother Wolf is the best. Thank you, Brother Wolf. Qin Dage, see you later. Pyrotechnic Glow put away the 1,000 jars of unparalleled divine wine and happily ran into the space-time tunnel. My ears can finally have some peace and quiet. White-eyed Wolf bared his teeth. Really? But why do I feel like you're a little disappointed? Qin Feiyang looked at him mockingly. Am I? Hee hee. White-eyed Wolf smiled disdainfully. You two are really something. You even managed to steal Blood Dragon Blade. Little Rabbit walked over and looked at the man and wolf. It's my charm. Can't help it. Qin Feiyang laughed. Shameless. Little Rabbit looked at him with disdain. Blood Dragon Blade was also speechless. But this time, your performance was really good, especially when Bing Changtian and the others came out. Dragon King and the other two old men's faces turned green. Little Rabbit laughed. Who told them to overestimate themselves and provoke us? White-eyed Wolf snorted, his eyes full of disdain. You're so arrogant after a few words of praise? Let me tell you, if it weren't for Uncle Rabbit this time, would Dragon King have given up so easily? Little Rabbit sneered. Yes, yes, yes. You're our lucky star. Come, come, come. This is to show filial respect to you. White-eyed Wolf stepped forward and took out 2,000 jars of unparalleled divine wine. Little Rabbit bared his teeth and asked without hesitation, how was your trip to the Qilin Holy Land this time? It was a big harvest. And the biggest harvest is something you'll never imagine. White-eyed Wolf laughed. Is that so? Isn't it just stepping into the perfected ruler realm? What's so great about it? The little rabbit sized up the ingrate, her expression full of disdain. Of course, it's not a big deal. White-eyed Wolf grinned. Little Rabbit was slightly stunned and looked at the man and wolf suspiciously. Suddenly, he released his divine sense and shrouded them. Soon, he saw the miniature law in Qin Feiyang and White-eyed Wolf's sea of consciousness, and a trace of surprise appeared in his eyes. How is it? White-eyed Wolf looked at him smugly. Little Rabbit retracted his divine sense and said disdainfully, I thought it was something great. So it's just opening the ultimate door. Opening the ultimate door? Blood Dragon Blade hurriedly released his divine sense to check Qin Feiyang and White-eyed Wolf. He was shocked. Little Rabbit looked at Blood Dragon Blade with disdain and said, Look at you. You're a ruler divine weapon. Why are you making such a fuss? Blood Dragon Blade smiled bitterly. The ultimate door was something that countless creatures pursued. But in the entire sky cloud realm, except for the lords of the forbidden areas and a few old antiques, who could do it? It was no exaggeration to say that the current Qin Feiyang and White-eyed Wolf were already qualified to stand at the top of the pyramid. It's not that no one has opened the ultimate door. Because in addition to Dragon King, the Qilin Lord, and Feng Ho, there are still many old antiques hidden in the 3 forbidden areas. Although they are not as strong as Dragon King and the other two, it's still easy for them to kill you now, so don't be complacent. In addition, think about how to deal with the dragons, the Feng people, and the Qilin clan 1,000 years later. After saying that, Little Rabbit turned and prepared to leave. Big brother. Why do you all think that in 1,000 years, the dragons, the Feng people, and the Qilin clan will definitely attack us? Qin Feiyang asked hurriedly. Little Rabbit pondered for a moment and said, Because you have the power of the purple gold dragon blood. After saying that, Little Rabbit took a step forward and disappeared without a trace. Qin Feiyang and White-eyed Wolf looked at each other. What did this mean? Why did it feel like the power of the purple gold dragon blood was a sinner? Blood Dragon Blade. Do you know the reason? White-eyed Wolf looked at Blood Dragon Blade and asked. I know. Blood Dragon Blade was silent for a moment before replying. Then tell us quickly. Qin Feiyang and White-eyed Wolf looked at it eagerly. You will know in the future. Blood Dragon Blade said and disappeared into Qin Feiyang's body. What the hell? White-Eyed Wolf was furious. Qin Feiyang's face was also full of wry smiles. They couldn't afford to offend each of them, or else they would force them to tell the truth. Boss Qin, Boss Wolf, at this time. Sea Lion ran over and said with a smile, "You won't blame me, right?" Qin Feiyang smiled and took out the sound transmission god stone, saying, "Continue to help me keep it safe." Okay. Sea Lion nodded. White-Eyed Wolf raised his head and looked in the direction of the heavy region, muttering, "I wonder how little Madman is now." Breaking the limits of his physical body is definitely not difficult for him. As for the Foam people, even if they find him, they won't make things difficult for him. Let's go to the castle first and take a look at the super forbidden technique that the Qilin Lord gave us. Qin Feiyang smiled and put away the Fire Phoenix sword and the Fire Phoenix Divine Jade. White-Eyed Wolf nodded. Chapter 36-47. Sky Cloud Island. As soon as the little rabbit came back, she held a wine jar and stood silently at the top of the mountain, drinking wine. No one knew what she was thinking. "What are you thinking about?" Accompanied by a soft voice, Sea Lion Emperor appeared beside the little rabbit, holding a jar of unparalleled divine wine in his hand. "Do you know? The two of them have opened the ultimate gate, and it's because of Qilin Holy Land's Thunder Punishment Stairway. Tell me, what kind of fate is this?" The little rabbit frowned. "Ultimate gate?" Sea Lion Emperor was taken aback for a moment before a trace of surprise crept up his face. "Really?" "And?" The little rabbit nodded. Sea Lion Emperor was silent for a while before shaking his head and smiled. "As the owner of Qilin Holy Land, the Lord of Qilin didn't say anything, so why are you sighing?" Uncle Rabbit just feels that this fate came a bit strangely. The little rabbit bared her teeth. "For the Lord of Qilin, I'm afraid this is an ill-fated fate. I'm afraid he's more depressed than anyone else right now. He obviously knows that they're people from the future, but due to the Millennium Agreement, he can't be thick-skinned and kill them. He even helped Qin Feiyang and the others." Sea Lion Emperor smiled. "It's indeed an ill-fated fate. But it's also a debt he owes." The little rabbit snorted coldly. "Such childish words, don't say it in front of Dragon King and the others, lest they laugh at you. But now, you're blatantly protecting Qin Feiyang and the others. Aren't you afraid of completely angering Dragon King and the others? After all, if the three Forbidden Lands join forces, even we can't stop them." Sea Lion Emperor's face showed a trace of worry. "Otherwise? Are we really going to watch them die in the hands of Dragon King and the others? Uncle Rabbit can't do it, and I believe you can't do it either." The little rabbit sighed. Sigh. "To be honest, I never wanted the Divine Kingdom to appear all these years, but now, I really hope the Divine Kingdom can reappear in the Sky Cloud Realm. This way, Qin Feiyang and the others can have more time to grow." Sea Lion Emperor looked up at the sky and murmured. "Divine Kingdom." The little rabbit also looked at the sky and shook her head. "Then forget it. Once the Divine Kingdom appears, all lives will be plunged into misery and suffering. It will be a disaster for the entire Sky Cloud Realm. But if it really does appear, we can only face it." The Sea Lion Emperor smiled. The little rabbit was silent for a long time. She shook her head and said, "That will depend on whether the prophecy the human emperor left behind back then will come true." Wang. Suddenly, the space-time rift hovering above the mountain peak emitted rays of dazzling divine light. This space-time crack was the passageway that connected to the underworld. Sensing the movement of the space-time rift, the little rabbit and the Sea Lion Emperor immediately turned around and looked at the space-time rift. Their eyes were filled with bewilderment. Another person came from the lower realm? A moment later, a young man with snow-white hair and a height of 1.8 meters stepped out of the space-time rift and landed on the mountain peak. Boom! This person's face was covered by a layer of mist, but his entire body exuded an extremely terrifying aura. The surrounding space was distorted, and the sea was surging. Even the entire Sky Cloud Island was trembling slightly, as if a god had returned. The little rabbit and the Sea Lion Emperor looked at this person with a trace of surprise in their eyes. The white-haired youth glanced at the surrounding sea for a long time without speaking. His deep eyes covered by the mist seemed to have a trace of reminiscence. How many years has it been? Everything has changed beyond recognition. This is no longer the Sky Cloud realm I am familiar with. After a long while, the white-haired youth finally spoke and let out a sigh. It's you. When the little rabbit and the Sea Lion Emperor heard this voice, their eyes trembled slightly. The white-haired youth looked down at the two and said with a smile, but the people have not changed. They are still the same familiar faces. Both of you, long time no see. How have you been? You're not dead? The little rabbit was surprised. The white-haired youth said lightly, not dead, are you disappointed? Ha, the little rabbit laughed and seemed to be very happy. The Sea Lion Emperor also had a smile on his face and said, of course we won't be disappointed. But seeing your return, they will definitely be disappointed. The white-haired youth pondered for a while and sneered, just a group of rascals. So, you have been hiding in the lower realm to recuperate? The little rabbit asked. Hiding? Wrong. This lord is waiting for them to return. After the white-haired youth finished speaking, he took a step forward and disappeared without a trace as if he had merged into the river of time. Hey. You're leaving just like that? Don't you want to chat a little more? The little rabbit shouted. There is nothing to chat with a wicked person like you. The white-haired youth's voice came from afar. The little rabbit's face suddenly turned black. Hee. After so many years, he still remembers your wicked character. The Sea Lion Emperor laughed. What did you say? Say it again. The little rabbit glared at the Sea Lion Emperor. No. The Sea Lion Emperor waved his hand and quickly fled. Bastard. In this world, there is someone more wicked than Uncle Rabbit. Bah, there is someone kinder than Uncle Rabbit? The little rabbit muttered indignantly, looking at the sea where the white-haired youth disappeared. A trace of smile gradually crept into his eyes as he murmured, since you are back, Uncle Rabbit is relieved, the rest is up to you. Black Tortoise Realm. Inside the castle, Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf entered the training room and immediately saw 2 jade scrolls lying quietly on the desk. The Lord of Qilin keeps his promise, this brother appreciates it very much. The white-eyed wolf bared his teeth. After all, he is the lord of the forbidden area, he definitely doesn't want people to gossip behind his back. Qin Feiyang smiled faintly, stepped forward and grabbed the 2 jade scrolls, and his divine sense was immersed in them. 2 pieces of information suddenly appeared in his mind. Destruction of the Fire Lotus. 9 Underworld Dragon Flame. Both of them were taboo techniques. At the cost of vitality, summon the Fire Lotus realm and the Dragon Flame realm have extremely strong defensive power. Moreover, both of them had the power to destroy heaven and earth. From the introduction, it didn't seem to be inferior to the forbidden techniques of the Qilin clan. The white-eyed wolf snatched it, looked carefully for a while, and nodded. Amazing, for you guys, this is indeed a life-saving method. Us? Qin Feiyang was stunned. Yes. The white-eyed wolf nodded and bared his teeth. This thing, I don't need it, leave it for little lunatic. So generous? Qin Feiyang was surprised. This didn't conform to the white-eyed wolf's character. Because all along, the white-eyed wolf was the first person to reach out and snatch any treasure that he encountered. Are you kidding? When have I been stingy? The white-eyed wolf said angrily. Cough. Qin Feiyang coughed dryly, not wanting to expose him, and asked, are you sure you want to leave it for senior brother lunatic? Nonsense. The white-eyed wolf glared at him angrily and said proudly, "A man's words carry weight. Even 18 horses can't catch up to him. How strange." Qin Feiyang sized up the white-eyed wolf. Why did his temperament suddenly change? It seems that you still don't trust me. Am I that unbearable in your eyes? The white-eyed wolf sighed helplessly, pointed at the mark between his eyebrows, and said, "It's because I have this thing that I gave it to little lunatic." Could this also be a forbidden technique? Qin Feiyang looked at the mark between the white-eyed wolf's eyebrows in surprise. The white-eyed wolf shook his head and said, "I don't know if it's a forbidden technique, but when it's activated, it does consume a lot of life force. Then this should be a forbidden technique." Qin Feiyang muttered. "Why do you care so much? Giving it to little lunatic is also to increase his strength. Little lunatic has the blood eye and the power of the blood demon. He can also transform. Once he grasps a super forbidden technique, he can basically sweep through everything like us." The white-eyed wolf chuckled. "Look at what you're saying. It's as if without this super forbidden technique, he won't have this ability." Qin Feiyang pouted. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that once little lunatic broke through to the peak sovereign realm, he could look down on everything with just the blood eye. "You still dislike it? Fine, fine, fine. I'll just cultivate it myself." The white-eyed wolf raised his paw to snatch it. "Don't. Since you said you'll give it to me, how can you go back on your words?" Qin Feiyang chuckled and grabbed the 2 jade slips. After hesitating for a moment, he chose the 9 underworld's dragon flame. Half a month passed. Outside, on Sea Lion Island, a black figure flashed across the sky and landed on the island. Looking at the sea lions on the island, he asked, "Is old Qin and brother Wolf here?" "Ah." The sea lions raised his head and looked at the black-robed youth. His expression changed slightly as he hurriedly went up and asked in surprise, "Crazy, what happened to you? Why are you so heavily injured?" "That's right. The person who came was crazy." But at this moment, he was covered in blood and had lost his right arm. There was a fist-sized hole on his right chest that was bleeding profusely. "It's a long story. Is old Qin and brother Wolf here?" Madman asked with an anxious expression. "Yes." The sea lions nodded. "That's great." Crazy was overjoyed and urged, "Send a message to old Qin and tell them to come out quickly." The sea lions nodded and hurriedly took out a voice transmission god stone to send a message to Qin Feiyang. After receiving the message, Qin Feiyang immediately brought the white-eyed wolf and appeared above the island. 5,000 years in a day. Half a month outside was more than 70,000 years in the Black Tortoise world. Qin Feiyang had already grasped the 9 underworld's dragon flame and was already comprehending the law miniature. "Senior brother, what happened to you?" Looking at Crazy, who was covered in wounds, the man and the wolf's expression changed. They hurriedly took out the divine life pill and gave it to Crazy. "Don't you want to laugh when you see my sorry state?" Crazy stared at the man and the wolf. "Are you kidding me? How can we laugh at this time?" Qin Feiyang and the ingrate rolled their eyes. They didn't even have time to worry. "Damn it. This is the first time I've suffered such a big loss." Even the universe ring and the voice transmission god stone were destroyed in the battle. Crazy was extremely angry. Qin Feiyang suddenly understood. "No wonder you asked the sea lions to send a message to us. What's going on? Did the phone people find you in the heavy regions and want to kill you?" The white-eyed wolf was surprised. If that was the case, even if there was a 1,000-year agreement, he would make the phone people pay the price. Chapter 3648. This has nothing to do with the foam people. Madman shook his head. "Wait." As soon as he finished speaking, Madman frowned again. After pondering for a moment, he sighed and said, "It has something to do with the Phoenix clan." "What do you mean?" Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf were confused. It had nothing to do with him, but it had something to do with him. Madman looked at the white-eyed wolf and said, "Let's get a jar of wine first to moisten my throat." The white-eyed wolf took out a jar of unparalleled divine wine, opened it, and handed it to Madman. Madman immediately hugged the wine jar and gulped it down. Looking at the sea lion who was swallowing his saliva, the white-eyed wolf shook his head speechlessly. He took out another jar of unparalleled divine wine and threw it to the sea lion. "Thank you, Boss Wolf." The sea lion was excited. "Awesome." Madman drank the entire jar of divine wine in one breath. "You're so seriously injured, drink less." Qin Feiyang was helpless. "What do you know? This isn't ordinary wine, it's divine wine. Divine wine can also heal injuries, do you understand? So the more you drink, the more energetic you become." Madman rolled his eyes at him. "Is that so?" Qin Feiyang looked at the white-eyed wolf. "You don't like to drink, why are you asking so much?" The white-eyed wolf looked at him with disdain. "Ah." Qin Feiyang was stunned. Was it wrong to not like to drink? "It's like this." Madman took a deep breath and looked at Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf. "After entering the heavy region, I successfully broke the limit of my physical body. After breaking the limit, I planned to go to the Death Glacier to find you, but guess who I met?" "Who?" Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf were surprised. Madman said word by word, "Yun Xiang." "What?" The man and the wolf looked at each other. The sea lion asked curiously, "Boss Qin, Boss Wolf, who is Yun Xiang?" "Drink your wine." The white-eyed wolf glared at it. "All right." The sea lion nodded and looked at the two people and the wolf suspiciously. It seemed that something great had happened. This Yun Xiang is not simple. He has also broken the limit of his physical body and can ignore the gravity of the gravity domain. Madman said in disbelief. "No way." Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf were shocked. Yun Xiang had also broken through the limits of his physical body? At first, I thought he was also training in the realm of gravity. But what I didn't expect was that he actually entered the inner region of the heavy domain. Guess what I saw again? Madman's face was filled with amusement. "What?" Qin Feiyang and white-eyed wolf were curious. After breaking through the limits of one's physical body and raising it to the level of autark, one would indeed be able to ignore the gravity of the inner region. Therefore, whether it was Yun Xiang or the madman, they could both enter. Madman chuckled and said, "I saw a ruthless hunt." "Hunt?" One man and one wolf were surprised. "That's right. Yun Xiang actually went to hunt the Feng people. In just half a day, 50 to 60 fire phoenixes and ice phoenixes died in his hands." Madman shook his head. "What kind of joke is this? He dares to hunt the Feng people?" The white-eyed wolf was shocked. "I saw it with my own eyes, how can it be fake?" Madman rolled his eyes at it. "Then why did he do this?" The white-eyed wolf frowned. "At first, I didn't know, but later, when I heard what he said in front of those corpses, I knew that it was because of Yun Zhongtian." Madman chuckled. "Yun Zhongtian?" This made Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf more and more confused. "That's right. The last time you entered the heavy region, didn't Yun Xiang appear in the southern continent? Originally, he wanted to seek revenge from He Zhongtian, but he didn't expect that the prince and princess of the dragons would be in the He family. Later, he found out where you went, and because of the rumors outside, he thought that you were the ones who forcibly enslaved the Yun family, so he chased you all the way into the heavy region." Madman said. "So that's how it is." Qin Feiyang suddenly understood and turned to look at the white-eyed wolf, saying, "It seems that when we were chased by the Feng people in the inner area, we didn't see wrongly. There was indeed someone on the other side of the Nether River, and it should be Yun Xiang." "Yes." The white-eyed wolf nodded. As for the reason for hunting the Feng people, it was naturally very simple, to avenge Yun Zhongtian. Madman said. Avenge? Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf were taken aback, asking suspiciously, isn't Yun Zhongtian fine? Yun Zhongtian is fine, but Yun Xiang doesn't know that. Because at that time, when he caught up to you, Yun Zhongtian had already been sent to the phoenix nest by Princess Wufeng. He did not see Yuan Zhongtian, but only saw you and the death god's sword, so he thought that Yun Zhongtian had died at the hands of the Feng people. Madman said. Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf nodded in realization. At that time, you were being chased by the Feng people, and after seeing Long Chen bring you all out of the heavy region, Yun Xiang hid near the Nether River, waiting for an opportunity. When I met him, his hunt had already begun. But because he did it very cleanly, and he only targeted the weaker Feng people, he did not attract the attention of the Feng people. And on the day I met him, he had wanted to kill a few and leave, but he accidentally alerted the Feng people nearby, and after a bloody battle, he slaughtered 50 to 60 fire phoenixes and ice phoenixes. It was at that time that I heard what he said to those corpses, and I knew that it was all a big misunderstanding. So, I immediately showed myself and told him that Yun Zhongtian was not dead, and told him everything. Madman said. And then? Qin Feiyang asked. Madman shook his head and said, and then he did not feel guilty about it, and even said that the Feng people's eldest princess had schemed against you all, imprisoning Yun Zhongtian in the phoenix nest, and that he was a person who deserved to die. Such a strong killing intent? The white-eyed wolf was surprised. This was a completely different personality from the Yun Xiang they knew. He has experienced so many things since he was young, how could he not have a strong killing intent? Qin Feiyang shook his head and sighed, and looked at Madman. Did the Feng people not find out about this? No. Madman shook his head. That's good. If the Feng people knew, I'm afraid that even you would be implicated. After all, you were with him at that time. Qin Feiyang breathed a sigh of relief. The white-eyed wolf asked, then how did you get this injury? That's even more unbelievable. When we left the heavy region, I originally invited him to come back with us. After all, Yun Guanghui and Yun Zifeng missed him so much, but he refused and said that he wanted to go back and cultivate in seclusion. The word "go back" immediately caught my attention. Everyone in the Yun family had already moved to the Black Tortoise world. Where could he go? So I secretly followed him, and in the end, I found that he had entered the land of buried gods. And I met an acquaintance. Madman's eyes darkened. Land of buried gods? An acquaintance? Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf were even more surprised. Madman said, this acquaintance is the masked Shura we met in the northern continent. Masked Shura? The man and wolf were both stunned. That's right. And I found that they actually know each other. Madman said in disbelief. Know each other? The white-eyed wolf was stunned and said suspiciously, Yun Xiang is from the southern continent, and the masked Shura is from the northern continent. They are not related at all, so how could they know each other? Not only do they know each other, but their relationship is also not ordinary. You will never guess. Madman smiled mysteriously. Don't keep us in suspense. The white-eyed wolf glared at him. Madman said, they are fellow disciples. Fellow disciples? This, Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf looked at each other. They would never guess their relationship. Surprised. At that time, when I heard Yun Xiang call the masked Shura senior brother, I was also quite surprised. At the same time, I finally understood. Where did Yun Xiang go when he said he was going back? Madman chuckled. His master? Qin Feiyang asked. Yes. Since they are fellow disciples, they naturally have a master. I really want to know what kind of person could make Yun Xiang so strong. So I continued to follow them and entered the land of the buried gods. But before I entered the central region, I was discovered by them. Madman smiled bitterly. The white-eyed wolf frowned. So, your body was caused by them? No. They didn't make a move. The land of the buried gods is a bit beyond imagination. Not only are there ferocious beasts everywhere, but there are also powerful divine beasts guarding it. After Yun Xiang and his companion discovered me, they lured me to the lair of a divine beast with a little trick. This divine beast was also unreasonable and directly attacked me. This old man's injuries were caused by that divine beast. Madman shook his head. Huh, someone used a little trick to trick you? Is this still you? So useless. The white-eyed wolf laughed. Nonsense. I know nothing about the land of the buried gods. How do you expect me to guard against it? Madman said angrily. Qin Feiyang couldn't help but find it funny. He thought, according to what you said, could their master be a peerless expert in the core region of the land of the buried gods? I don't know. Madman shook his head, pondered for a while, and frowned, but I found something strange. What strange thing? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. The divine beast at the edge doesn't seem to have the intention to kill me. It seems to be chasing me away because it has a sovereign weapon. If it really wanted to kill me, I wouldn't be able to come back alive to see you. Madman said. What? Sovereign weapon? Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf were surprised. Nonsense. With my current strength, if it doesn't have a sovereign weapon, how can it hurt me? Madman rolled his eyes. The man and wolf looked at each other and couldn't help but gasp. It was just a divine beast at the edge of the land of the buried gods, but it had a sovereign weapon? The meaning of this was completely different. Indeed, as Madman said, this divine beast had a sovereign weapon and could easily kill him. But why didn't it kill him? And this Yun Xiang and the masked Shura, were they really related to the mysterious race at the core region of the land of the buried gods? The Yin Demon land was the dragons, the heavy region land was the Feng people, the Death Glacier was the Qilin race. Then what race was the land of the buried gods? Chapter 36-49. There's no other way. I can't defeat a sovereign weapon, so I came back to find you guys. How about it? Are you interested in the land of buried gods? The madman bared his teeth. Tisk. If you want us to help you deal with that beast, just say it. Why beat around the bush? The white-eyed wolf looked at him in disdain. The madman smiled awkwardly. He had almost lost his life. How could he bear this? I feel that it's better not to go. Qin Feiyang shook his head. Not going? Why? I rarely ask you guys for help. The madman raised his brows. You don't know. During this period of time, we have experienced many things in the Qilin Holy Land. Qin Feiyang explained in detail what happened in the Qilin Holy Land, the ambush by Qi Xiong and the others, as well as the agreement with the Dragon King. The Fire Qilin is really in the Qilin Holy Land, a 5,000-year time array in a day, awesome, damn. And the ultimate gate. You guys are really lucky. When the madman heard the last part, he looked at Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf in shock. You also know about the ultimate gate? The white-eyed wolf was doubtful. When I was cultivating on Sky Cloud Island, Little Rabbit told me about it. The madman nodded. Are you envious? The white-eyed wolf bared his teeth. Don't be so proud. The madman snorted, feeling extremely unhappy. He didn't expect to encounter such a good fortune. If he knew, he wouldn't have gone to the heavy region. What Yun Xiang? What Mas de Jura? How could they be more important than the ultimate gate? Qin Feiyang smiled and said, Don't be indignant, we still have a treasure for you. What treasure? The madman was curious. Didn't the Qilin Lord give us 2 super forbidden techniques? The white-eyed wolf didn't want it and left it for you. After Qin Feiyang finished speaking, he took out the jade slip and handed it over to Madman. The madman looked at the jade strip and then at the white-eyed wolf. Don't be too touched. The white-eyed wolf bared his teeth. Who's touched? The madman let out a cold snort, but his face was filled with a smile. He grabbed the jade and looked down. You're really not polite at all. The white-eyed wolf pouted. Why should I be so polite with you? The madman chuckled, feeling excited. As expected, it was a super forbidden technique. Qin Feiyang sighed. Once the 1,000-year promise arrives, the Qilan race, the Feng people, and the dragons will join forces to deal with us. Therefore, I don't want to waste any more time in the land of buried gods. Join forces? Madman frowned and asked, Are you so sure that they will join forces? Isn't the truth already in front of us? As for the reason, I asked the little rabbit, and it only said one sentence. It has something to do with the power of my bloodline. Qin Feiyang rubbed his forehead. Bloodline power? Madman lowered his head and pondered for a moment before asking suspiciously, could it be that the fall of that human and the purple gold divine dragon is related to these three races? Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf looked at each other, and a trace of surprise appeared in their eyes. According to the Fire and Feng people, you and Qin Badian might be their descendants. If that's the case, everything can be explained. Back then, the ancestor of your Qin clan fell in love with the purple gold divine dragon, but for some reason, the Dragon King and the others wanted to kill them, so they joined forces to eliminate the couple. Therefore, when they saw that you have the bloodline power of the purple gold divine dragon, the Dragon King and the others guessed that you are their descendant, so they want to kill you to prevent you from growing up and finding out the truth and taking revenge on them. The madman analyzed. Qin Feiyang scratched his head. The madman's analysis seemed to make sense. If it's really like what the little madman said, that little rabbit is helping us now, is it very good friends with the ancestor of the Qin clan and the purple gold divine dragon? Moreover, when I heard the conversation between it and the Dragon King and the others, it seems that they have some kind of agreement. And it's related to us. The white-eyed wolf was puzzled. It's possible. The madman nodded and laughed. It seems that we are not far from the truth. Qin Feiyang rolled his eyes. Did he really think that this was the truth? Also, did the races hidden in the land of the buried gods participate in this matter? What kind of attitude do they have towards us? Old Qin, I think that we really need to go to the land of the buried gods. As long as we don't stop, we won't be delayed. The madman said with a hint of encouragement. We really should go. At least we should find out who they are. Are they on the same side as the dragons, the Feng people, and the Qilan master? Didn't you always say that? Know yourself and know the enemy, only then can you win 100 battles. The white-eyed wolf also nodded and looked at Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang hesitated. Boom! At this moment, a terrifying aura suddenly descended from the sky. Qin Feiyang, the madman, the white-eyed wolf, and the sea lion looked up and saw a figure shrouded in flames appear in the sky. A terrifying aura spread in all directions. Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf's expressions changed on the spot. What's wrong? The madman was suspicious. It seemed to be an extraordinary person. Feng Ho. Qin Feiyang transmitted his voice. She is Feng Ho. The madman was shocked. Qin Feiyang bowed and said, Greetings to Senior Feng Ho. Where is Senior going? Where to? Feng Ho sneered and said, I'm here to look for you. Look for us? Qin Feiyang was taken aback. In the past half a month, he had been cultivating in the Black Tortoise realm. He didn't seem to have done anything bad to the Feng people. Feng Ho shouted, Why do you want to slaughter the subjects of the Feng people? Slaughter the subjects of the Feng people? The two people and two beasts were stunned. Suddenly, their eyes trembled slightly. Could it be that what Yun Xiang did in the inner area had already been known by Feng Ho? Some time ago, a clansman came to report that many people of the Feng people went missing. We thought that they just went out to train, but we didn't expect that after our investigation, we found that the contract bridges they established with their friends and family had all disappeared. Obviously, they are dead. And in the sky cloud realm, besides the Feng people, only you few can enter the inner area of the heavy region. Feng Ho's tone was bone-chilling. Sure enough, it was exposed. Qin Feiyang's heart trembled, and he said with a smile, "Senior, that's not necessarily true. As far as I know, the son of the dragons, Long Qin, can enter the heavy region." You want to divert the attention to the dragons? Naive. I've already sent people to the dragons to ask. Since the end of the battle on White Crane Island, Long Chen has been in seclusion in the dragon's nest and has never left. But Madman Mo seems to have been to the heavy region some time ago. And if I'm not wrong, Madman Mo has also broken the limit of the physical body. The Feng people have already been very polite to you, why do you still want to do this? Feng Ho said angrily. Madman frowned and said, was it Pyrotechnic Glow and the others who told you? Don't blame them. Not only did they want to hide it from me, but they also kept speaking up for you, saying that there must be some misunderstanding. It can be said that the siblings are completely devoted to you, so I hope that you won't deceive them or even use them. Why? Explain it to me immediately. Feng Ho said in a deep voice. From her cold tone, it was not difficult to see that if they did not give her an explanation today, she would definitely not give up. Little Qin Zi, little madman, what should we do? White-eyed Wolf asked secretly. Madman said through voice transmission, we can't put ourselves in danger just because of Yun Xiang. Tell me the truth. Qin Feiyang sighed secretly. If the Feng people did not find out, they could help Yun Xiang hide it. But now, not only had they been exposed, even Feng Ho had personally come. If they did not tell the truth, they would have to bear the anger of Feng Ho. The anger of a peerless powerhouse like Feng Ho was not something they could bear. All right. I'll tell you. Madman nodded. He briefly explained the situation of Yun Xiang hunting the Feng people. Yun Xiang? Feng Ho raised her eyebrows. That's right. If I didn't happen to meet him in the heavy region, I reckon that he would still be hunting the Feng people in the inner area. But this is also a misunderstanding. Madman said. Misunderstanding? Humph. He hunted so many of the Feng people. How can this be a misunderstanding? Even if it's a misunderstanding, it can't be forgiven. Where is he now? Let me tell you, don't think of covering up for him. Denying it will only bring trouble to yourself. Feng Ho warned. Madman sighed and said, he went to the land of buried gods. The land of buried gods. Feng Ho's tone seemed to contain a trace of surprise. Yes. I saw it with my own eyes. Look at my injuries. They were caused when I was following him. Madman nodded. Why did he go to the land of buried gods? Also, your strength is obvious to all. How could he possibly injure you? Feng Ho was puzzled. He wants to return to his master's side. His master seems to be in the land of buried gods. As for the one who injured me, it was actually a god beast at the edge. This god beast has a dominator weapon. I can't defeat it. Madman explained. Master. God beast. Feng Ho pondered for a moment and said indifferently, since this is the case, then forget it. Wait until he comes out from the land of buried gods. Don't go to the land of buried gods for no reason. There's nothing there that can help you guys. The only thing that can help you guys is to enter seclusion and comprehend the ultimate profound. With that, the Phoenix Empress turned around and left without looking back. What's the situation? Qin Feiyang, Madman, White-Eyed Wolf and Sea Lion looked at each other. Such a big thing had happened, and she actually let it go just like that. When did Feng Ho become so easy to talk to? Something isn't right. There's a problem here. Sea Lion shook his head. What problem? Qin Feiyang and Madman, as well as the White-Eyed Wolf, looked at him suspiciously. Logically speaking, she should have let you guys lead the way to the land of buried gods to find Yun Xiang or send someone to the land of buried gods herself. However, she didn't do anything. In fact, she even waited for Yun Xiang to come out of the land of buried gods. Does this mean that she is also afraid of the land of buried gods? The most important thing is, she actually kindly warned you guys not to go to the land of buried gods. Isn't this strange? Could it be that her original intention isn't to be afraid of the land of buried gods but to not let you guys step into the land of buried gods? Sea Lion analyzed. Chapter 3650. Qin Feiyang, the madman, and the white-eyed wolf looked at each other. After listening to Sea Lion's analysis, there was a feeling of enlightenment, as if the clouds and mist had dispersed. It really made sense. But was that really the case? A guess was just a guess. However, one thing was certain, the land of the buried gods was definitely not a simple place, otherwise Feng Ho wouldn't have such a reaction. Why don't we go and take a look? How much time can it take? The madman continued to encourage. Qin Feiyang shook his head and laughed. It seemed that this senior brother wouldn't feel at ease if he didn't get rid of this resentment. Okay. But let me cultivate for a while first. You can also practice this super forbidden technique. Qin Feiyang said. The madman was slightly stunned and asked, what are you going to cultivate now? The ultimate profound? How can the ultimate profound be comprehended in a short time? Of course I know this. Qin Feiyang nodded and smiled. However, these days I have been observing the miniature of the law of thunder in the Black Tortoise world. I have already comprehended the ultimate profound of the law of thunder. So fast? The madman was stunned. 5,000 years in a day, half a month outside is more than 70,000 years in the Black Tortoise world. That's fast. Let's talk about it later. The miniature of the law of thunder represents the ultimate profound. From the miniature of the law of thunder, it is naturally easier to comprehend the ultimate profound. Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. The madman pondered for a while and nodded. Okay, I will wait until you comprehend the ultimate profound of the law of thunder. I will also make a trip to Sky Cloud Island. Why are you going to Sky Cloud Island? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. What else can I do? Of course I am going to find the little rabbit. The madman rolled his eyes and looked at the white-eyed wolf. Send me there. Is there something good? We are brothers, you can't forget us. The white-eyed wolf was curious. If there is something good, I will definitely not forget you. The madman smiled. That's what I call a brother. The white-eyed wolf grinned and opened a portal. Remember to call me when you go. Perhaps I came out earlier than you. After saying that, madman entered the space-time tunnel. So mysterious. What's going on? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. Something is indeed amiss. Back then, the little madman said that once he left Skycloud Island, the little rabbit would not allow him to return. What is he trying to do by running back now? White-eyed wolf also frowned. Who cares? Let's go. Time to comprehend the laws. We can't waste such a good opportunity. Qin Feiyang smiled and brought the white-eyed wolf into the Black Tortoise world. Sky Cloud Island. When the madman arrived at the peak of the island, he saw Little Rabbit lying on a rock with a wine jar in her hand. Her days were incomparably comfortable. Big brother. Madman moved forward. Little Rabbit rolled her eyes and asked, why did Feng Ho look for you guys just now? It's nothing important. Madman shook his head. After pondering for a moment, he gritted his teeth and said, Big brother, I have already thought about what you said to me last time. I have decided to give it a try. Little Rabbit was slightly stunned and teased, why did you suddenly make this decision? Aren't you asking the obvious? Madman was helpless. Sure enough, you were stimulated by Old 3 and White-Eyed Wolf. Little Rabbit chuckled, but then her expression became incomparably serious. But you have to think carefully. This is not a joke. If you are not careful, you will lose your life. I won't regret it even if I die. Madman's eyes were firm. Okay. Come with Uncle Rabbit. Little Rabbit looked deeply at Madman before getting up and rushing down the mountain. Madman hurriedly chased and said with a flattering smile, "Big brother, there is one more thing. Shouldn't Old Chin and Brother Wolf also make a trip? Originally, I did plan to let them try after they came out of the Qilin Holy Land. But I didn't expect that they actually went to the Thunder Punishment Stairway to join in the fun. Since they have already obtained the Law Epitome, then let's wait until they comprehend the ultimate meaning of the Law of Thunder and the Law of Death. After all, too many of these things may not be a good thing for you." Little Rabbit shook her head. Okay. Madman nodded. Time slowly passed. With the departure of the Qilin clan, the Feng people, and the dragons, the 4 continents of the Sky Cloud realm finally returned to their former peace. But the situation of the dragons and the Feng people had already spread in the Sky Cloud realm. As for the Qilin clan, although Qin Feiyang and the others had already interacted with the Qilin clan, others didn't know. Because the Qilin clan had never officially appeared in front of others. And last time at the edge of the inner area, although many people and beasts saw Qi Yu and the princes and princesses of the various clans, after Qin Feiyang and the others left, these people and beasts were all killed by Qi Yueying. So now, there weren't many people who knew about the Qilin clan. However, since the Yin Demon Land and the Heavy region had the dragons and the Feng people, then it was naturally not difficult to imagine that the other 2 forbidden areas must also have a hidden behemoth. So now, these were the topics that were most discussed. If it wasn't for the appearance of Qin Feiyang and the others, I'm afraid we would never know the true situation of the 4 forbidden areas. Yes. Who would have thought that there was such a powerful clan hidden in our Sky Cloud realm? Do you think the Demon Palace, Rogue Cultivator Alliance, Sky Palace, Deity Palace, and Blood Palace were known before? I guess they didn't know. Otherwise, when they saw the princes and princesses of the dragons, those big shots of the Demon Palace wouldn't be so surprised. In short, because of the appearance of Qin Feiyang and the others, the true face of the various forbidden areas was finally exposed to the world. Cloud Sea City. In a room of the Tianyue building. The Tianyue building and the tea house are developing well now, and we didn't let down Qin Dage's expectations of us. Yueqing and Yi Miao sat opposite each other, drinking tea and chatting. Yi Miao asked, "Then, are we going to enter the southern continent and the northern continent now?" Yueqing pondered for a moment and nodded. "The dragons haven't made any moves for a long time. We can try to talk to the Sky Palace and Deity Palace. I'll deal with this matter. You should hurry up and expand the tea house." Okay. Yi Miao nodded, looked out the window, and said worriedly, "I wonder how Qin Dage and the others are doing." "The heavens help the worthy." Yueqing smiled. At the same time, the big shots of the Demon Palace, the big shots of the Rogue Cultivator Alliance, He Zhongtian of the Deity Palace, and the 4 big shots of the Sky Palace all handed over their affairs to their subordinates and went into seclusion. Because they had already opened the door to potential and didn't want to waste such an opportunity. Moreover, they knew the situation of the dragons and the Feng people better than anyone else. If they wanted to survive in the cruel future, they had to quickly increase their strength and increase their value. And the peaceful Sky Cloud realm was indeed something to look forward to. After all, there were resources everywhere and opportunities everywhere. In the blink of an eye. Half a year passed. Half a year, 180 days. 900,000 years had passed in the Black Tortoise realm. The current Black Tortoise realm could almost compete with the ancient realm. And the structure was almost the same. The ancient realm's divine land corresponded to the Black Tortoise realm's devil land. The castle's 4 domains corresponded to the Black Tortoise realm's 4 domains. And now, The Black Tortoise realm had already given birth to a peak imperishable stage powerhouse. In terms of quality, the Black Tortoise realm had far surpassed the ancient realm. Of course. After so many years, the ancient realm's strength must have increased, but it definitely couldn't compare to the Black Tortoise realm. After all, the Black Tortoise realm had always had a time array. On this day, half a year later, a terrifying aura erupted in the castle. Rumble. Crack. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled in the sky. An eye formed by the power of thunder appeared in the sky, emitting a terrifying heavenly might that shocked all the living beings in the Black Tortoise realm. This was the law of thunder's supreme profound, the Eye of Thunder. So fast. The white-eyed wolf ran out of the castle and looked at the Eye of Thunder in the sky, muttering to himself. If it wasn't for the law of thunder's miniature, no matter how good Qin Feiyang's comprehension was, it would be impossible for him to comprehend the supreme profound so quickly. However, compared to it, he was still far from it. Because even if he comprehended the law of thunder's supreme profound, Qin Feiyang had only mastered 3 supreme profound. And it had 6 supreme profound laws, unparalleled in the world. Thinking of this, the white-eyed wolf couldn't help but laugh proudly. What wicked thing are you thinking about? Why are you laughing so hard? Qin Feiyang walked out in a white robe, his whole body emitting an invisible pressure. With his appearance, the Eye of Thunder in the sky disappeared, and the sky returned to normal. You're the one who's asking for a beating. The white-eyed wolf glared at him. Qin Feiyang laughed and asked, how's your comprehension of the law of death's miniature? Don't tell me you're slacking off again. How is that possible? It was related to the ultimate profound, how could it slack off? All these years in the Black Tortoise realm, it didn't even drink a sip of wine. It could be said that it was truly pure. However, this ultimate profound was too difficult. Even after being in seclusion in the Black Tortoise realm for so many years, it didn't comprehend anything. Don't worry, take your time. Qin Feiyang comforted. He had just comprehended the supreme profound, and he was still thousands of miles away from the ultimate profound. Fortunately, the Black Tortoise realm's time array had changed, and the future was still worth looking forward to. Little Qin Zi. I feel that we can't pin all our hopes on the ultimate profound. Because it's too difficult. Moreover, even if we're lucky and master the ultimate profound of the law of thunder and the law of death within 1,000 years, we might not be able to defeat the Dragon King, Feng Ho, and the Qilin Master. After all, none of us know how many ultimate profound they have mastered. The white-eyed wolf said with a frown. Then what do you think? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. He had thought about this before, and it was indeed a little unrealistic. I have an idea, and this idea is the sovereign divine weapon. There are already many heaven-defying divine weapons in the land of origin. For example, Snowflake, these heaven-defying divine weapons have already evolved into sovereign divine weapons. So we should place some of our hopes on them. As long as a few of these heaven-defying divine weapons can evolve into sovereign divine weapons, then our chances of winning will undoubtedly increase. The white-eyed wolf said. Chapter 36:51. Sovereign divine weapon, Qin Feiyang muttered. So many years had passed. He wondered how the heaven-defying artifacts that had entered the land of origin were progressing. Little brat, come out for a while. The white-eyed wolf looked up at the sky and roared. The kid descended from the sky and glared at the white-eyed wolf. How dare you call me little brat? I'm just a little brat. Why can't I call you that? But then again, what's wrong with you? So many years have passed. Why haven't you grown up? Why do you still look like this? The white-eyed wolf teased. What do you know? What's the matter? Say it. The kid glared at the white-eyed wolf and said impatiently. How's the evolution of the god-slaying tablet going? The white-eyed wolf asked. The kid said indifferently, it's already at the final critical moment. If nothing goes wrong, you guys will have another sovereign divine weapon soon. What other accidents can there be? The white-eyed wolf was suspicious. You don't understand. When it evolves into a sovereign divine weapon, it will undergo a tribulation. The lightning tribulation is not ordinary. As long as it succeeds, it will become a true sovereign divine weapon. The kid said. What? It still needs to undergo a tribulation? Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf were shocked. Of course. Otherwise, how can a sovereign divine weapon be so strong? The kid looked at them in disdain. What if it fails to pass the tribulation? The white-eyed wolf asked. Is there a need to ask? Of course, it will be destroyed. Even deities won't be able to protect it. The kid said indifferently. The white-eyed wolf's expression froze. He asked carefully, how terrifying will the lightning tribulation of the god-slaying tablet be? How terrifying. The kid rubbed his chin and pondered for a while. I guess even a sovereign divine weapon like a horsetail whisk won't be able to block it. Fuck. The white-eyed wolf cursed. If even a sovereign divine weapon couldn't block it, how could they play? It was simply impossible to successfully transcend the tribulation. Little Wimp chuckled and said, that's why, this is just the beginning. The more exciting part is still to come. You guys have to be mentally prepared. In any case, we're in the same group. Can you not be like this? The white-eyed wolf was speechless. Who's with you? What does your life and death have to do with me? At worst, I'll just wait for you to die and find another master for the Black Tortoise realm. The little brat bared his teeth. Qin Feiyang's face darkened. White-eyed wolf's veins were also bulging. What an unreliable bastard. Qin Feiyang asked, how is the progress of the other heaven-defying artifacts? Not bad. Sunset Divine Bow, Seven Stars Staff, White Phoenix Divine Sword, Qilin Divine Sword, Demon Dragon Sword, and Fire Lotus Divine Axe have all entered the process of evolution. Looks like I didn't raise them in vain. Little Wimp said with a gratified expression. Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf were quite surprised. There were actually 6 artifacts that had begun to evolve. This was a little beyond their expectations. They originally thought that even if there were artifacts that had evolved, there would at most be 1 or 2. Sunset Divine Bow, Seven Stars Staff, and Fire Lotus Divine Axe. Needless to say, they had fought with them for many years. The White Phoenix Divine Sword was a supreme heaven-defying artifact that Elder Hua had given to Fire Lotus. The Qilin Divine Sword and Demon Dragon Sword were the legendary artifacts that the Deputy Leader and the Hall of Famers had given to Qin Feiyang and Crazy One. They didn't expect that they would catch up and start to evolve first. Don't be so happy. Because the greater the expectation, the greater the disappointment. Little Wimp poured a bucket of cold water on them. Go, go. The white-eyed wolf waved his paw. He really didn't say anything good. You still don't like it? Okay. The god-slaying tablet can't be protected. It's up to you when to go through the tribulation. After Little Wimp finished speaking, he took a step forward and left, disappearing without a trace. Look, 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 what kind of person is he? The white-eyed wolf was angry. Hasn't he always been like this? What's there to be angry about? Qin Feiyang shook his head and smiled. That's true. It's not worth being angry with him. However, if he isn't tricking us, then the tribulation of these divine artifacts is really a headache. The white-eyed wolf said in a deep voice. It's useless to think about it now. We'll talk about it when the time comes. Qin Feiyang shook his head. He wasn't afraid of the other tribulations at all, but the tribulation of evolving a sovereign divine weapon. Just hearing about it made him panic. However, he still had to face what he had to face when the time came. He hoped that the other heaven-defying artifacts would work harder and quickly enter the evolution process. When the man and wolf left the Black Tortoise realm, they saw the sea lion alone on the island. His cultivation was also getting stronger day by day. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, "Senior brother hasn't returned yet?" "I didn't see him." The sea lion opened his eyes, looked up at Qin Feiyang, and shook his head. "Is he still on Sky Cloud Island?" The white-eyed wolf looked at Qin Feiyang and asked, "Should we go find him?" "No need. Anyway, Little Rabbit won't let us enter that cultivation place when we go to the Sky Cloud realm. Let's go to Lion King Island and visit the Sea Lion Emperor." Qin Feiyang smiled. He must be going to send wine to curry favor with them again. The white-eyed wolf pursed his lips. "Don't make it sound so bad. This is to build a good relationship. If we didn't work hard to build a good relationship, would they have lent the sovereign divine weapon to senior brother last time?" Qin Feiyang chuckled. No matter what, the 8 beast emperors were worthy of their respect. The man and the wolf stayed on Lion King Island for half a day. After leaving behind 10,000 jars of unparalleled divine wine, they changed their appearances and went to the eastern continent, western continent, northern continent, and southern continent to understand the current situation. Looking at the 4 continents that had calmed down, Qin Feiyang was quite gratified. Although there were often disputes and killings, in such a big world, disputes and killings were inevitable. Compared to the chaos caused by the appearance of the dragons, it was much better. He didn't ask for anything else, just the current peace was enough to satisfy him. 3 days passed. Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf received a message from the sea lion that Madman had returned from Sky Cloud Island. When they gathered on Sea Lion Island, the man and the wolf found that Madman's aura seemed to have changed, but they couldn't tell what the change was. "This is for you." Qin Feiyang threw a yin and yang ring to Madman. Not only were there all kinds of divine pills inside, there was also a brand new divine sound transmission stone. "Thanks." Madman put away the yin and yang ring and took out the divine sound transmission stone. After establishing a contract, they set off to the land of buried gods. Eastern continent. In front of the entrance to the land of buried gods, Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf stood in the sky and scanned the mountains and rivers in front of them. The land of buried gods was the only place of the 4 forbidden areas that was relatively normal. The mountains and rivers were majestic, and the vegetation was green. There were rivers and lakes, there were humans and beasts. From the looks of it, the land of buried gods was no different from the mountains and rivers outside. However, it felt different. Looking at the land of buried gods from afar, it was as if there was a mysterious veil covering the mountains and rivers, giving people a sense of fear that came from the depths of their souls. "It's Qin Feiyang, Madman Mo, Golden-Winged Wolf King. They came to the land of buried gods again? Are they going to tour the 4 great forbidden areas?" "Wait. Why did I say tour? This is a forbidden area, it's very dangerous. When you said tour, there's no problem at all. The 4 forbidden areas are indeed very dangerous for us, but for them, it's like their own backyard." Discussions rose and fell one after another. The 2 men and 1 wolf ignored them and directly stepped into the land of buried gods. When the white-eyed wolf and Madman stepped into the land of buried gods, they didn't feel any pressure or strange power, as if it was really an ordinary mountain range. However, the moment Qin Feiyang stepped into the land of buried gods, his eyes trembled slightly. It was as if there was something calling him from the depths. "Don't you have anything you want to ask?" Madman looked at the white-eyed wolf and Qin Feiyang suspiciously along the way and finally couldn't help but ask. "Ask what?" Qin Feiyang was puzzled. "For example, why did I go to Sky Cloud Island? For example, why did you take so long to come back?" Madman said. "It's up to you to say it or not." The white-eyed wolf picked his nose. Madman's face darkened as he coldly snorted, "Originally, I have good news to tell you, but looking at your attitude, forget it. Forget it, it has nothing to do with us anyway." The white-eyed wolf shook his head. He really couldn't think of any good news that the Sky Cloud realm could bring them. Madman angrily stared at the white-eyed wolf. Seeing the current appearance of the ingrate and madman, Qin Feiyang couldn't help but find it funny. Then, he said, "Senior brother, if you really can't hold it in, then say it for us to hear." "I won't say." Madman also lost his temper. "Okay." Qin Feiyang nodded. After a while, seeing that Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf didn't have any intention of asking, Madman said angrily, "Okay, I'll say it. The little rabbit agrees to let you enter the cultivation area." Ah. One man and one wolf were surprised. This was really unprecedented. Madman continued, "But you have to wait until you comprehend the ultimate meaning of the law of thunder and the law of death." "Forget it." Hearing this, the white-eyed wolf suddenly lost all interest. How long would it take to comprehend the ultimate meaning of the law of thunder and the law of death? Qin Feiyang was also silent. Although he didn't know what the little rabbit was doing. However, Sky Cloud Island's cultivation grounds must also have some amazing treasures hidden within. Madman continued, "I also found that when I went back and saw the little rabbit this time, it seemed to have become a little different from before." Different? This aroused the white-eyed wolf's curiosity. Yes. From time to time, it would grin foolishly. "The most important thing is its mentality. I feel that it seems to be a lot more relaxed than before." Madman said. Foolishly. The white-eyed wolf began to imagine. What would this little rabbit look like if it was foolishly smiling? While talking. Unknowingly, the two men and one wolf had already gone deep into the land of buried gods. Behind them, there were many people and beasts, and there were even more than in the other 3 forbidden areas. This scene made them feel helpless. No matter which forbidden area they entered, this kind of situation would happen. In the end, none of the people and beasts that followed them had a good ending. "Let's go. Let's find a place to change our appearance." Qin Feiyang transmitted his voice. The white-eyed wolf immediately activated instant time. After breaking through to the peak sovereign realm, no one could catch up with it after activating instant time. In just a blink of an eye, the two men and one wolf disappeared from everyone's sight. Chapter 3652. A few days passed. In the depths of the border region, there was a mountain ridge that was thousands of feet tall. It was like a natural moat that separated the land ahead. In the distance, 2 middle-aged burly men brought a big black dog as they tore through the air like lightning and stopped in the void not far away from the mountain ridge. It was Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf. As expected. After changing their appearances, no one followed them. However, it was also because of this that they encountered endless trouble along the way. Because after changing their appearances, no one knew their identity. The people and beasts that saw them only thought that they were ordinary adventurers. Naturally, they couldn't avoid all kinds of trouble coming to find them. Fortunately, they were strong enough now. Otherwise, it would be a disaster. The madman stood in the air and glanced at the mountain range before him. A wisp of ruthlessness flashed through his eyes as he said, "That's the boundary between the central area and the border area. I was obstructed by that divine beast at that time." Qin Feiyang and the white-eyed wolf were stunned. It seemed that on the other side of the mountain ridge, other than the aura of some powerful beasts and humans, they didn't sense any divine beast aura. "Don't be careless. He might be watching us from somewhere, but it's a little strange." Madman looked at the mountain ridge and frowned. "What's strange?" A man and a wolf were suspicious. "The mountains and rivers of this region were clearly destroyed when I fought with him. How did it recover to its original state?" Madman muttered. "Aren't you used to such methods a long time ago?" Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. The divine demonic forest was the same. No matter how you fought, everything that was destroyed would be restored to its original state the next day. "Little madman, wait for me. I will take revenge for you." The white-eyed wolf grinned. As he took a step forward, his aura erupted without reservation. N. The white-eyed wolf's aura immediately alarmed the nearby beasts and humans. They all looked over. However, seeing 3 unfamiliar faces, he didn't take them to heart. As for the white-eyed wolf's cultivation, although it was at the perfection sovereign realm, there was no lack of such experts in the various forbidden regions. I'm curious too. What kind of divine beast would have a sovereign weapon? Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. 2 people and 1 wolf stepped into the air above the mountain ridge. Roar! Ferocious beasts roared and rushed out. Despite coming all the way to the land of buried gods, he still dared to act so arrogantly. Who was he looking down on? Get down on your knees. The white-eyed wolf let out a domineering roar and swiped out with its claws. A sovereign realm great perfection sovereign realm ferocious beast let out a wail as its huge physical body was shattered in the void. Only its divine soul was left as it fled in a sorry state. What kind of power is this? Seeing this, the pupils of the nearby people and beasts suddenly shrank. The ferocious beasts that were pouncing towards the white-eyed wolf, in particular, stopped in mid-air and looked at the white-eyed wolf in horror. What kind of terrifying strength was needed to shatter the body of a perfect circle sovereign realm ferocious beast with a single punch? One had to know. The body of a ferocious beast was naturally stronger than a human's. Could it be that this big dog had already broken through the limits of its physical body? Divine beast, how dare you bully my brother? Come out and accept your death. The white-eyed wolf scanned the mountain ridge below. It was like a beast god had descended and was extremely domineering. Below. In a quiet valley. A black-robed middle-aged man stood in the valley. When he heard the white-eyed wolf's words, he was slightly stunned. It turned out that the white-eyed wolf was here specifically for him. However, when did I bully your brother? In these endless years, other than the little madman not long ago, he had never made a move. Wait a minute. Could it be, suddenly? The black-robed middle-aged man's gaze turned and landed on Qin Feiyang and Madman. There was a trace of doubt in his eyes. You don't want to come out? Then don't blame me for not giving you face and tearing down your old nest. The white-eyed wolf's claw swiped down and a terrifying divine power surged out towards the mountain ridge below. The black-robed middle-aged man frowned. A majestic divine power rolled out and turned into a huge wave that covered the sky. It blasted towards the white-eyed wolf's divine power. As soon as this divine power appeared, the white-eyed wolf and Qin Feiyang immediately looked down at the valley. When they saw the black-robed middle-aged man, Madman laughed and said, "It's him." So it's you. A cold light flashed in the white-eyed wolf's eyes. Boom! When the 2 divine powers collided, the mountain ridge and the nearby mountains and rivers immediately began to collapse and sink. The surrounding beasts and humans also quickly retreated. You actually dare to come and find trouble with the divine beast? You really ate a leopard's guts. A portion of the beasts screamed crazily. Obviously. These beasts were the subordinates of the divine beast. A bunch of trash, scram. The white-eyed wolf roared. His voice was like thunder, shaking the blood of the beasts and causing them to flee in horror. Divine beast, the white-eyed wolf sized up the black-robed middle-aged man and bared his teeth. Let me see how strong you are to dare to bully my brother. As his claws clawed at the void within a radius of millions of miles collapsed and turned into a giant ice crystal beast. It carried a monstrous aura as it pounced towards the black-robed middle-aged man. This is the supreme profundity of the space-time law. The surrounding people and beasts all changed their expressions. This was a ruthless character. The black-robed middle-aged man's pupils shrank slightly. As a destructive force appeared, a huge statue appeared and slapped at the giant ice crystal beast. The supreme profundity of the law of destruction, Qin Feiyang muttered. He had been observing the black-robed middle-aged man, but he couldn't tell what kind of divine beast his true form was. Boom! The two supreme profundities collided and an even more terrifying shockwave erupted. The surrounding mountains collapsed like wheat, and the earth trembled violently and crazily cracked. The surrounding people and beasts retreated in horror once again. This kind of battle shockwave was not something they could withstand. You have 2 moves. However, that's all you have. The white-eyed wolf sneered. The 4 supreme profundities of the law of death, the law of causality, the law of spacetime, and the law of destruction were all activated at the same time. What? The supreme profundities of the 4 supreme laws. This situation seems to have only happened to one person before. No. It's not a person, it's a wolf. It's the golden-winged wolf king. Everyone's expressions changed as they stared at the white-eyed wolf in shock. Could this big black dog be the golden-winged wolf king? Looking at the supreme profundities of the 4 supreme laws, the black-robed middle-aged man frowned and a powerful aura surged out of his body. Brother Wolf, watch out. Frenzy's expression changed as he roared. This was the aura of a sovereign weapon. Boom! The might of the sovereign weapon was like the might of the heavens, unstoppable. The supreme profundities of the 4 supreme laws were destroyed on the spot. Then, the might of the sovereign weapon flooded the sky and surged toward the white-eyed wolf. The crushing of the supreme profundities caused the white-eyed wolf to spit out a mouthful of golden blood. Golden blood. That's right, it's the golden-winged wolf king. When Qin Feiyang and the first prince of the dragons fought on White Crane Island, I saw the golden-winged wolf king with my own eyes. At that time, golden blood flowed out of the golden-winged wolf king's body. Since it's the golden-winged wolf king, then aren't the 2 men beside it Qin Feiyang and Madman Mo? The scene fell into an uproar. Regardless of gender, age, or gender, everyone's expression was filled with awe. Golden-winged wolf king? Qin Feiyang? Madman Mo? Don't they know him? The black-clothed middle-aged man's subordinate sneered. What? You don't even know the 3 of them? You're too ignorant. Let me tell you, they're existences that can compete with the dragons. Not just you, even your divine beast lord has to obediently submit in front of them. The young men and women snorted coldly. They looked at Qin Feiyang, Madman Mo, and the white-eyed wolf as if they were looking at their idols. Huh, what a joke. No matter how strong they are, can they be stronger than a sovereign weapon? The black-clothed middle-aged man's subordinates laughed disdainfully. Hearing this, everyone present fell into a daze. Then, their expressions became strange. Competing with Qin Feiyang and the others in terms of sovereign weapons? Are you sure you're not joking? Who didn't know that Qin Feiyang and the others also had sovereigns, and more than 1 or 2? Boom! The next moment, the same terrifying aura erupted from Qin Feiyang's body. The black-clothed middle-aged man's subordinates were dumbfounded. This seemed to be the aura of a sovereign weapon. In just a blink of an eye, the aura of the 2 sovereign weapons collided violently. Not to mention the surrounding void and earth, even the sky was collapsing. You think it's still the same as last time? The madman laughed loudly. A mere sovereign weapon, how dare you show it off? The white-eyed wolf also had a look of disdain. The black-clothed middle-aged man glanced at the madman and the white-eyed wolf, and then looked at Qin Feiyang. His eyes flashed slightly, and the space between his eyebrows suddenly split open, revealing a strange eye. That eyeball was black and white. One side was white, and the other side was black. When this eye closed, the world immediately fell into darkness. Whether it was Qin Feiyang, the madman, the white-eyed wolf, or the surrounding people and beasts, everything in front of them suddenly turned dark. One must know. With their cultivation, even if it was night, they couldn't see everything clearly. But at this moment, in front of them was endless darkness, and they couldn't see anything. Even when they released their divine power and law power, the divine light couldn't illuminate this world. The moment the world fell into darkness, Qin Feiyang and the madman immediately felt a fatal danger. Immediately after, a sharp pain came from their arms, as if something sharp had cut their skin. Before they could figure out what was going on, the world regained its light and turned back to day. Qin Feiyang and the madman immediately looked down at their arms and found that there was a wound on their arms, and blood was flowing out. What's going on? It turned into night, and then it turned back to day? Could it be related to his eye? Everyone looked at the black-clothed middle-aged man's third eye, and the more they looked at it, the stranger it became. But the black-clothed middle-aged man ignored everyone else, and his eyes locked onto the wound on Qin Feiyang and the madman's shoulder. Qin Feiyang's purple-gold dragon blood was particularly eye-catching. The madman's blood was also quite special, because his blood contained a terrifying blood demon power. What is he looking at? The surrounding people and beasts couldn't help but look suspiciously at the madman and Qin Feiyang. When they saw the purple-gold dragon blood flowing down Qin Feiyang's arm, their spirits were lifted. It really was them. You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.